You can do anything you want. The problem is that people lack confidence. They don't know what they don't know. But it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep.
Boom.
That's what that's about right there. That's knowledge, dude. That's bombs right there, dude. Dropping bombs on your moms. Dude, that's it.
Dude.
You got to do that, man. So, Dave Ramsey was super influential, super important. You got to learn how to take care of your money.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you what it's really about.
What is it about?
What it's really about is acquiring these assets. Dave Ramsey always says, he's like, if you want to live like no one else, you got to live like no one else. Right? It's real simple. Mm-hmm. So meaning stop copying everybody, stop looking at all the bullshit, stop going out every single night, you know what I mean? And spending money you don't need to, and getting into the process of learning how to buy and acquire assets. Rental property, business, royalties, copyrights, freaking farms. I don't care what it is. Yeah. Well, I mean, my goal is to be retired by I'm 40. I mean, and that's going to happen. There's no question.
What's retired? What's retired?
Where you don't have to go and work for your money any longer. Where your investments, your assets basically produce enough cash flow for you in order to live. That's going to happen. There's no question about it by the time 40. So I got in less than 7 years, it'll be done. 4 kids under 4. You want to come over? Let's bring over the internet sensation, man.
Get the tequila out, man.
Dude, yeah, be careful. Be careful.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry, dude. If you want better equipment, you got to buy it. This is straight up Amazon. Bezos delivered this shit overnight.
Oh, did he?
$15 is straight from Taiwan, I bet. But hey, does the business.
Isn't that incredible, dude? The whole Amazon thing. We don't got to touch much on this, but I mean, the largest retailer doesn't even have any real estate. Well, they do, but they don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's amazing to see.
Well, welcome everybody to the Ralphie and Ryan Show. I am your host, Raphael the Realtor, with the internet sensation, Ryan Reynolds. And in front of us, we have a very special guest, Mr. Chris Leon.
Hey,
welcome to the podcast.
El más chingón, Leon.
That's exactly how you introduce yourself the very first time.
Is that? Did I really? God, man, what's wrong with me?
What's that mean?
Like the badass, right? Like the most badass or something? I don't know.
The badass with with the Mickey Mouse hat. I like it.
Yeah, you like that, man?
Badass with the Mickey Mouse
Hell yeah.
hat. That's perfect.
Hell yeah. I own like 2 or 3 of these hats.
You like
man.
Mickey Mouse?
Dude, big fan of Walt Disney World.
Awesome.
Big fan. Actually,
awesome.
never was like that, but the family wrote me in. My wife and her family, they wrote me in, so we go every year. Like we went 3 times last year.
That's awesome.
So I mean, super fortunate, wonderful, love it. But it's one of my favorite hats. Actually, it's my golf hat.
Yeah. I saw you with that shirt, that Hakuna Matata.
Oh,
I was jelly, man. That was awesome.
I got a ton of those, man. You can find them at Target.
Really?
Yeah, dude. You can. I got a Peter Pan one that says I'm so fly, I never land. That's cool. Dude, when you go down to Disney World and people see that stuff, they're like, oh man, that's, it's actually super fashionable to wear Disney clothing in Disney World.
Is it?
You'd figure. I mean, it really is. But people are always, there's always something that you see. And now it's really, really big deal to food like Disney Mickey ears, turkey legs, churros, all pineapple, what do they got? Dole Whip, all that kind of stuff is like really big. This Walt Disney World food.
What's your favorite park at Disney?
Man, Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
That's pretty key right there.
The cast is pretty awesome.
Ralphie's just asking you because he's gonna be going to Walt Disney soon.
I'm planning on it.
Dude, no, you make it happen, dude. You gotta go. We were just looking at the cost of annual passes. They're going up 18%, man.
Wow.
Yeah, because the I don't know, but the Star Wars hotel is gonna be a Galaxy's Edge, I think.
They have a Star Wars hotel?
Dude, you got to get up on your Walt Disney. There's a Walt Disney World podcast.
Do you have any of these vlogs or anything that we could check this out at?
So there's I don't know if you plug other podcasts, but there's a Walt Disney World podcast that's out there. Yeah, and I don't know, it's probably the most popular one. I don't know, but it's pretty incredible what they're going to be doing. So basically, this is going to be an experience where you go in a hotel. You can only go for, as I understand, up to 3 days at the absolute most, because everything is the recurring theme. You'll start to notice. So they can only let you stay there for 3 days when you go in. And when you come in, it's like they're going to make it feel like you're entering this world.
That's awesome.
It's incredible. And then the rooms apparently aren't going to have windows. They're going to have huge LED TVs in there that's going to make it look like space. So you look like you're out in
in a spaceship.
in a spaceship.
That's awesome.
Man,
It's the experience.
crazy.
It's the experience that everybody's after.
Dude, that's why you go to Disney World.
You stayed in this hotel?
No, it's
it's
not.
a new one.
It's coming up. So I gather that they're going to be raising the prices for the annual passes right before that, because this is a really, really big deal. I mean, you got to imagine, Disney World acquired Lucasfilms. They didn't do it just for the movies; they did it for the product, the merchandise afterwards. So.
Is that going to be your next day?
No, our next day is actually in January, so we're going to be staying at, I want to say, at the Polynesian and Animal Kingdom on the safari side. So I gather that it's going to be expensive to be over there, and just I don't know, one of these days.
So when you visit, you only visit one park at a time?
Hell no.
You don't, you do all
Well, I mean
parks, but
physically.
Okay.
Physically, one park at a time, but I mean, for the most part, yeah. I mean, you make a whole thing about it, but we've been there so many times that it's funny. Me and my wife, we're all about, like, let's actually enjoy the pool today. Let's do the pool. Let's go get some lunch. Let's go walk around and see the hotels. Let's do something.
Yeah.
Even downtown Disney is pretty amazing. The stores,
Disney Springs, yeah.
The toy stores, amazing. Talk about experience.
Oh my God, it's so huge.
Speaking of toy stores, did you guys hear that Toys R Us is coming back?
What?
No way.
They just announced it, that they're trying to. It's going to be a much smaller store, but I think they're trying to focus on the experience. But yeah, I guess they're coming back.
Where'd you read this article, man?
The Washington Post or something.
It's legit.
The Washington Post. I mean,
How long?
Bezos, right?
How long do you think it's gonna last?
Bezos.
He's probably gonna fund it.
You know what? I think if they stick to creating an experience, because they said they were going to have a lot more play areas for children and stuff like that. Trying to keep people around, right?
That makes sense.
You're gonna pay another $5 if your kid has a great time.
Yeah, but they're taking freaking play places out of McDonald's and shit. Kids don't want to play in that anymore.
They're gonna move it over into
Toys R Us.
Are they really doing that? I've
Well,
noticed that there's a lot less.
every time I go to McDonald's, they're like, a slide's missing. No kids. Tumbleweeds are flying through there.
Where are you going to
maintenance,
McDonald's,
bro?
man?
Maintenance.
Yeah, I guess under construction.
Yeah. So I didn't even tell you how I met this guy. Did I tell you?
No.
I was thinking about this earlier. It was 2015. I bought my first income property in 2014, and I started searching online, and I started researching real estate investment associations in my area, and one of them was Korea. Plug to Korea.
Chicago Area Real Estate Investors Association,
There you go.
Kong Il or whatever.
Everybody thinks of that when I say
Yeah,
that.
I know that they do.
Yeah. And I showed up to this place, and then this gentleman greeted me with, I'm Chris Leone. I'm like, oh, nice to meet you, Chris. And I'm pretty sure on our first meeting you said, just remember, I'm Chris Leone, el más chingón.
No shit. You really do that?
I probably do
That's
that.
badass,
But
dude.
with paisa like him, dude, you know what I mean? Mexican folk.
Yeah.
You got to feel people out. You got to know who you can,
For sure,
who you
for
can kind
sure.
of play with and who you can't.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, he was super welcoming. I really had a great time, as a board member there. And I think you served as president for a while, right?
yeah, served as president. I think I did. I'm being facetious when I say this, but I feel like I did everything there as far as it for a period of time. But I think anytime you join a not-for-profit organization and you're a board member, I mean, you kind of just you help out where you can, right? Because no one's being paid to do that stuff, so you do that to give back to the community and such.
Yeah. So Chris, you're a realtor.
Yes.
You are an investor.
Yes.
You are a handyman.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw
I
the
saw
ladder in your
your
car,
stuff,
man.
man.
I
Come
pulled
on,
up. I
baby.
saw the ladder sticking out of that pilot, dude. I was like, this
Whoa, whoa.
guy's the real deal.
First off, that's an element, dog.
All right,
that's
man.
an element.
All right,
that's
all
Ellie.
right,
That's Ellie the element out there.
Oh, okay. All right.
You
I
know what I'm
apologize.
saying? Yeah,
So
get it
that's your
right.
pride? That's your pride?
Nah, dude, that thing's a big piece of shit. I love it though, dude. You know what? I love it because seriously, I can go out there and drop kick that motherfucker. I could give it to
You
people's
could
elbow.
You could shove ladders in it, I see.
Dude, I give it to people's elbow.
probably
and I
paint in
don't
there.
care. Oh man, no, I don't got paint in there, but that is a walking toolbox. I got all my plumbing stuff in there. I'm like, shit, we better be careful because I don't want someone to come in and jack me. You know what I mean? But
Steal your copper.
no, dude, yeah. You man, I got everything in there. Everything that I need to do any kind of service call, usually, anytime. So yeah. I don't fancy myself a handyman. I've had to learn how to do that kind of stuff, and I wouldn't say that I'm fantastic at it, but
You make it happen, Chris. You make it happen.
Yeah, you make it happen. You know, you got to, man, because what people want to charge nowadays, you know, $45, $90 an hour to sweat a piece of pipe.
I just had
man.
I just had a washing machine fixed today.
Oh, you finally called them?
Yeah.
Who'd you call?
That guy in Villa Park. I don't want to name him.
So let me ask you this: what was the symptoms of your washing machine? What was
it was built in the 40s. I mean, that's one of the symptoms.
Right.
I mean, this was super vintage.
Why the hell are you even fixing it? You just replaced that son bitch for
$1,200,
Ralphie,
dude. It's Ralphie, man.
That's how we grew up, man.
He's super frugal.
He charged me $140.
No, dude, that's beyond frugal, dude. That's cheap. That's cheap.
So we gotta talk about this because I know this guy is. Yeah, you're super.
I'll tell you how to stretch a dollar, maybe.
Yeah,
I'll show you how to do it.
So we got to talk about that frugality and how to stretch a dollar and when you should invest the money and just get it done and when you should probably do it yourself.
Dude, I'll tell you what, that is something that I think is, if anything, I'm just learning how to do that. I mean, for the longest time I've been doing that myself, but now I'm getting more with it to realize that, man, I can't be in two places at once anymore.
Time is money.
You know, it really, really is. And once you understand what your time is worth and what it can actually produce, then only then do you realize, and it's painful. It's painful because, you know, no one can paint that wall better than you. No one can put up that shelf better than you. But at the end of the day, you got to realize that there's someone out there that'll do it for $10, $12, $14 an hour. And if your job, you know, if you can produce $50 an hour, you have no business doing that.
Right, exactly.
You know, but that's a learning thing, and I think if you know, you guys read Rich Dad Poor Dad and all that stuff.
Yeah, actually, one book that really got me into that mindset was the E-Myth. You ever read that one?
You know what? That's one that I never read.
Yeah, so it was kind of you know, trying to make the most out of your time and trying to work on the business, not in the business.
Yes.
So that's super important. Yeah, but I paid $145 for this washing machine that wasn't washing.
So I'm just curious, what wasn't it doing? It wasn't tumbling? What was it?
Yeah, it was spinning. It was spinning, but it didn't seem to have any real power while it was trying to spin. It's probably a belt.
Yeah, I was just thinking like maybe a belt or something.
Yeah, you know,
so he fixed it and you don't even know what's fixed.
That thing runs on a belt, not a lever. Like you don't manually have to do it. I'm telling you, I wanna snap a picture and send this thing to you.
This is unbelievable.
I'm pretty sure it has wood grain on it, right?
Check this out.
I'm dead serious.
This is the Bro-Ham.
I'm serious.
It's the Fleetwood Bro-Ham.
It is the coolest washer, don't get me wrong. Maybe that's why Ralphie wanted to get it fixed. But it is old. I'm pretty sure it was probably the very first washer inside of that house.
So the home was built in the 80s.
All right, so
is this in a rental property?
It's in a rental property. Jesus Christ. And I actually
you rent this thing for like $700, right?
No.
I'm just
Can you even get a rental now for $700?
Yeah, I know one.
Yeah.
Yes,
what is it, studio?
No, I think it's a one bedroom.
Yeah.
It's got a 30-day kick-out clause, meaning you could live in it for like 14 days and be asked to kick out. But
yeah, so $145 is what it cost me, and I was glad to pay it because I am not going to show up and get my toolbox out and try to figure out what screws to take apart. I'm probably pretty capable of taking this thing apart.
Yeah, I bet it took you more time to find the guy that could fix a 1940s washing.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Chris.
You have to find a special repairman for this.
No kidding. For something that was built like when carburetors were all around.
Yeah, this probably ran on a carburetor, dude.
All you need is some PB blaster.
Yeah, just get the WD-40 and the duct tape.
You got to put some starter fluid to get it going.
Yeah, you gotta pull it to get it started.
So we should talk about this too, because now the trouble that I'm having is having a reliable team. Mm-hmm. And I got some guys that I can rely on, but there's always one guy that you're like, hey, I don't know what's going on, and he might show up, he might not show up, and that's super important too, especially when you're trying to run a business. You got to rely on people, and you need people to come through.
What's up with contractors doing that shit, man?
Dude, I mean, I wish I could tell you. I don't really hire them. Honestly, I've been fortunate enough to where I haven't really had to, and you find some people along the way that who that's all that they do.
Yeah.
And you got to be smart to find out who they use, what they do, what to learn, but then you just got to know when you need to hire somebody and do it. So there's one development that we're in. There's a particular handyman that's down there. I know he's done things for the HOA and stuff like that. I know I can trust him. He doesn't do everything perfect, but I can trust him to be there and do the right job.
Do you outsource anything specifically that you're like, hey, I really don't mess with?
You know what? The one thing I really, really don't. The bottom line I'm not confident in is plumbing. Okay. Plumbing and particularly water heaters, only because this isn't something that you do every single year.
Yeah.
So because you don't know where it's at. If it's underneath, sometimes you find them underneath the counters. You get a 30-gallon short body ream or an A.O. Smith or whatever. I mean, you literally got 8 inches of space from the top of that water heater to the. It's like, man, that ain't for me.
Got to be a pro.
But man, I'll tell you, I mean, some of these guys out there, they want like $1,400. That includes the water heater. So you can get a water heater, what is it, a 40-gallon, 38-gallon. You know what I'm saying? Short body from Home Depot for $385. Plus tax after the materials. Say you're in $410, but $1,000 to put it in. But that son of a bitch takes about 6-7 hours to put in. Maybe 4 if the team's really good. But I guess you got to ask yourself: is your time worth it to dick around with it without taking the countertop off? That's the key. You got to do it without the countertop off.
So you got to think about, you got to go pick this thing up, bring it to whatever location
Wherever
you got to do it. Yeah. Then you got to figure out how to plumb the gas. So that's going to take you a couple of trips to get all the pipes fitted.
Most of the stuff that everything that we work with is all electric, okay. So it's a little bit easier in that regard.
And then the water, right? So
yeah.
And then tight spots, and you're working with fire, right, to sweat pipes and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't difficult. I mean, if you watch a guy replace a water heater, it's not difficult.
Straightforward, yeah.
It's pretty straightforward, but it's just, honestly, it's one of the things that I don't feel
you outsource
just super confident about. I won't second guess it now at this point. But I'll tell you what, when it comes down to like when we get a new property or something, we always do the electric and the plumbing first. That's the first thing. I don't care if it was just done. I mean, if it looks really good and it looks really good, like it's new, which they never are, then I might just leave it, depending on whatever the circumstance is.
You're talking about outlets or
I'm talking
boxes?
I'm talking everything. I'm talking the receptacles. I'm talking the switches. I'm talking the lights. I'm talking the closet light. I'm talking the if I need to replace
is this a flip or what?
No, I'm just saying generally for rental property, man. Yeah, for rental property, you got to do this stuff. You can't just go and buy a property and just turn around and go and rent it without, what I'm saying? It's like buying a car without looking underneath the hood.
Yeah.
When's the last time anyone's ever done that?
Nobody.
And been successful.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But yeah, that kind of stuff and cutting off shutoff valves, things like that, putting in new sinks, putting in new P-traps, plumbing the dishwasher. That stuff is, I can handle that. That's good.
So how long you been in the game for, man?
So I got in the game, 2012, I want to say? Yeah, I mean, not long. I guess 7 years officially. But, honestly, if you see those brands that say ETA or estimated 1964. I'm estimated I don't know, dude, 1999. I don't know, dude. I've been thinking about a lot of this stuff since I was a young cat, since I was knee-high to a duck.
You grew up in the area, right?
Hanover Park, baby.
Awesome, man.
You still live in Hanover?
No, man, I live in Elgin.
Elgin, okay.
Yeah, now over where we're at, we call it West Elgin because you live on the east side of Elgin.
Elgin's huge.
It's East Elgin is a little bit more towards the downtown or whatever, and it's I mean, not to me, but they say it's ghetto or whatever. But where I'm at, I'm all the way out in the sticks. I'm in the Burlington School District or whatever. So people over there, they call it West Elgin because it's I don't know, it sounds snobby or whatever.
Yeah. But there's newer builds there and some nice houses.
Yeah, there's some really nice houses over there. I mean, I live in one of them. I like it. I enjoy it. I'm not I wish I lived in Central DuPage, preferably.
Yeah.
Property taxes are a lot less. Well, a little bit, but
less than Elgin.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you should see Kane County is one of the highest tax, if not one of the highest tax the counties in Illinois.
It's also growing really quick.
It's ridiculous.
They're building a lot out there.
Yeah, building super.
Yeah,
quick.
if I pay off my house, my taxes are the size of a mortgage every month. There's no question about it. It's ridiculous.
Well, what got you into real estate investing?
Well, the short story is that earlier the internet sensation was asking me what keeps me lit or whatever, but we're talking a little bit about.
Yeah, dude, this guy freaking is on 10. Got the
volume
10, all the way cranked.
Man, I'm disgusted if you say 10.
We had to 11?
Easy.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you got to turn these freaking volume things down. This guy always talks shit and tells me stop screaming in the mic, but I'm like, okay, cool, but this is my style, so it's cool. So I feel like I'm not the only crazy one.
Yeah, dude. Well, you seem a little pretty chilled and relaxed today, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm trying to, this is the first time I met you. I'm trying to learn.
Oh, dude, so. Just go with it, baby.
Yeah.
Go with it. I'm gonna take you on a ride.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
By the way, did you guys see Aladdin?
No.
Oh man, you guys got to go see that. It's a good one.
When
When I
did that
said
come out?
ride, I was thinking of magic. I was going to bust out that Magic Carpet Ride song or whatever, but then I realized I wasn't with my four kids. So.
So you're father of 4 too, right?
Yeah, father
You're
of 4.
busy-
I
you're
do. I got
busy
4
dude.
under 4.
Oof.
Yeah, it's crazy.
God bless you.
It's great. No, God bless my wife, man. And big shout out to her for letting me come out here and do this.
Thank
Because,
you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
Alyssa's
time away
wonderful.
from the family.
Love you,
That's
babe.
super important. So you grew up, went to high school, and then how did you get into becoming?
Yeah,
a real
so
estate
sorry, I didn't mean to take you guys off the beaten path there. So he was asking about what keeps me lit or whatever. Back in the day, I used to sell cell phones. So I used to
really?
be one of those guys that would sit inside a kiosk in the mall, and I would try to pick you up in some way, shape, or form and try to sell you a phone. And I learned in that business it was all about energy. You know, if you just sat there and you didn't ask for the business, no one would come to you.
Right.
So that's what keeps me all excited and everything. So I took that and just continued to go in the sales business. So I've done, I don't know, tons of different things, right? But then I decided, I met a guy there, this Indian guy, dude. His name was Richard Peters. You know, I don't even know if he's watching this, but you don't trust an Indian guy with 2 first names.
I was about to say he doesn't sound Indian. I've never heard of an Indian's name named Richard Peters.
You know what I mean? So he was talking to me. He talked to me about this one book. And long story short, I ended up meeting with him. He had a property on Pyatt Road in Algonquin. Basically, he was building a 4-flat and wanted to sell it to me. And this was back in 2007 or something
How
like
old were you,
that.
Chris?
Oh gosh, I don't know. So I'm 33 today. So I don't know. That must have been 20. No, I don't know. I don't even know.
Why did he pick you?
Well, no. So I'm sitting there selling phones.
Yeah, you probably got a good deal on an iPhone.
No. So here's what happened. I'm sitting there selling. This is during the era when Neuve Reich University was out with all this big stuff where you could go in and, you know, hey guys, with all the stuff that you're seeing today, that was happening in the early 2000s. You know what I mean? Before the whole bubble burst. And even then, I didn't even know what the hell was going on. Like I said, he just pitched this stuff to me, told me about this book, told me about what he was into. And at this time, I was, you know, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Okay.
I was into like that whole thing. I mean, someone had said it down the line somewhere. So it started there. So that was really, this was like right when I got out of high school. So this must have been, about 2005 it had to have been. So I had to have been, 19?
Wow.
Or something like that, if that. Yeah, man. And he was talking about it and read the book, started meeting with him. He basically was going to sell me a property, put $10,000 in my pocket at closing, and I was going to run this 4-flat down in Pyatt Road in Algonquin. I ended up saying no to it. I think mostly because I couldn't qualify for the credit or something. You know, I'm young, I'm dumb, I don't know any better. So kind of fast forward a little bit. A lot of stuff kind of happened in between then, but I met somebody actually, and you know this individual is over at RIA, and basically, just kind of encouraged me to go on and kind of kept giving me these really weird tasks to go do, such as, why don't you quit your job? Why don't you, go start a business? Why don't you become a real estate agent? All this kind of stuff. And well, the funny thing is I did all of that. I actually did what he had suggested to me. And before you know it, I don't know. So 2012, I actually got my license, became an agent. And then that's really where it started.
Yeah.
So
this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and we hear it all the time.
Dude, Robert Kiyosaki is probably loaded just off that book, man.
He's the grandpappy of a lot of real estate investors.
I hear that people authors, they don't make a lot of money on the book. It's a lost leader, just like how McDonald's selling $1 Coke or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It's all about bringing bringing people in. So with things like books, I gather once you've sold however many he sold, that you probably make a little bit.
Yeah, he's probably made some money then, and he's also sold his name a couple of times. So he's probably made
how much he's converted off of that book. Think about that. I mean, right into the Rich Dad education, so on and so forth. I mean,
What do you think it is about that book that converts so many people and gets them motivated to start?
Well, it's different, right? I mean, in there, it's funny because when I meet with people and people want to talk about getting into this business, that's usually one of the first things that I do is before I sit down with them. It's like, hey, have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad? Yeah. Oh, no, you haven't? Well, listen, before we sit down, why don't you take a look at this and read it, and then let's get together and let's have a conversation about it. Actually, I have someone doing that right now, and it's interesting because then you can tell someone anything till they're blue in the face. But for whatever reason, it's like, I don't know, they pick it up in a book, or if they start looking at the reviews, they say, man, this is maybe there's some truth in this. I don't know. I think these people are naturally cynical with one another. We don't think twice about buying cologne from Michael Jordan or a steak from him or whatever because he's Michael Jordan. But then all of a sudden I start a business and now I want to sell you something. It's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? People all of a sudden start, you know how that is.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. I think it's better when they hear it from someone else. But the book is simple. It's simple, and it talks. It's a very short, easy read. It's a simple story about what he learned from his rich dad and his poor dad. And I think most of us can completely relate to that. I mean, I grew up in a house just like that, and I would consider my dad the poor dad in that scenario. I mean, he worked hard. He did everything he could to provide for his family. I mean, considering where he came from,
right.
Jumping the border at Mexico like 2 or 3 times,
right.
Finally getting over, building a life here. You know what I mean? I think he could have become a professional soccer player over there. For real, no shit.
He was talented.
He was talented.
Where did he come from?
Mexico, dude.
Yeah, like what city?
Oh, Cuernavaca, Morelos.
Okay.
So I don't know. That's about like an hour away from DF. About 2 hours from Acapulco or whatever. And
so you're first generation?
Yeah, I guess if that's what you call it.
Okay.
Yeah. So my dad's 100% Mexican. My mom's 50% Mexican, 50% Polish.
Okay.
So naturally, I grew up spick and span.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's bogus when they call you that.
You get pissed off?
No, I'm just kidding. But what do you call a Polak Mexican? I mean, other than spick and span, you know what I mean? Hopefully we don't piss anybody off.
Hey, you probably just pissed a lot of people.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Fuck them then.
You guys
Take a joke. Take a joke.
So you how did you hear about Korea? Because this is where you kind of started.
Dude, yeah. So this is where it all started. So I was working at the little gym back in the day, and a buddy of mine who was a personal trainer. Actually, it's somebody who I work with right now, and we can talk about that a little bit later because you're asking me about this fitness stuff.
Yeah.
But he had told me about this organization, and at the time I'm sitting there selling fitness.
Yeah.
I'm selling memberships, and I'm selling what we call 2 for 60s. Basically, you buy 2 sessions with a personal trainer, you get them, you get one for free, sort of thing. And he told me about this Chicago area.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. And that's the kind of person I've always been. It's like at that time in my life, and I'm still like that, but with 4 kids under 4, it's a little bit different now. But he suggested, let's go. I went there. At that time, they were meeting in Lombard at the Old Country Buffet. For everyone that doesn't know that, that's what used to be Golden Corral, but it's the old school. And then I went there and met them with my friend Jay, and his girlfriend at the time. And we went there, and boom, that's where it started. That's where I met. It's funny about that story, actually, and I've told this before, and I think I've even written on it on Bigger Pockets on a post that I've made. I think I've only made 1 or 2, but this is part of the story. Where I found this individual and talking so different than everyone else. I mean, everyone's kind of like, I don't know, locker room kind of talk. But then there's this one guy asking these hard questions. Hey, so what do you do? What are you doing here? Why are you here if you don't own property? Like, man, it's like, whoa, like kind of direct coming at me, dude, guns blazing sort of thing. It was interesting. And then I kind of like, I was feeling out the room. I'm going to talking to different people. And then somebody moved up from him. So then I'm like, okay, I just got out of the middle of a conversation. I got up and I went and sat next to him because I knew this guy was the whale. This guy was the elephant in the room because just the way he was talking. So long story short, I mean, we do business together today.
That's awesome.
And it's awesome. I mean, that's so that must have been back in 2009, probably about early 2010.
Okay.
Probably early 2010.
So I attended, I don't know how many different groups you attended, but I probably attended 4 different ones. And I think I didn't really go back to the rest of them. The only one that I really stuck around was Korea. And the reason that I went back is because I thought it was more about a community than it was really a pitch fest, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
Because there was always somebody trying to sell you something in the back of the room, right? The course and stuff like that. So the reason that I really liked Korea was that it was based around a community, and people were willing to help each other out.
You guys should do some bloopers sometime. Get someone
bloopers.
Some foul
We have a ton of those. Right?
I was gonna do. I was watching a video today with these like bobbleheads in this music video, so I was gonna do some bobbleheads.
Was it a Chingy video or something?
No, it was actually a 2 Chainz video.
2 Chainz.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh my god.
But Yeah, so you were talking about Korea Pitch Fest.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about that too, Chris, because so Korea is a group that that's, like I said, based around a community. It's a bunch. A lot of the people that are there are actual investors that own property, and they're willing to share their knowledge and pretty much give back. Right.
Absolutely.
And it's one of the things that really drew me to the community, and I tried to become involved, and I attended pretty much all the meetups. I tried to be a board,
you joined the board and everything,
member.
man. Yeah.
And I built great relationships. I mean,
absolutely. And look, I mean, here we are today. I mean, we went from intra, what do you call it, acquaintances to buddies to, now in a sense, colleagues, right? I mean, you're a fellow realtor, so I mean, that's awesome. We might do some business,
because it's super important especially when you're starting off and you have no money, right?
Oh yeah.
You have no knowledge. You think it's stuff that's just shown on TV and it's not really for you, right? The real estate investing, and it's super important to have regular folks that are there to encourage you and help you through your struggles, right?
Oh, 100%, man. Yeah. I mean, could you imagine going through, for example, go through life without parents? In effect, it's the same thing. Right. It's just with somebody who's into whatever it is that you're doing. So I would think that for anyone outside of Chicago area, they should do that with whatever it is in their life, whether if it's starting a podcast, whether it's fitness, whether it's, even if it's marriage counseling. Yeah. Dude, support system to help other people that have been there to help pull you up.
Yeah. You still go to Korea?
I haven't been in a while, actually, and mostly because I can't get away for evening events, except for this one, baby. Because, like I said, my wife, she was super kind to let me come out here.
That's very nice of her. Shout out to her. Thank you so much.
Yeah, love you, babe.
Yeah.
Do you recommend everybody that's interested in real estate in the Chicagoland area to at least check out Korea?
Yeah, 100%. There's no question about it. I mean, the Chicago area is a fantastic organization. There's no question. Going back to a little bit of what got me into going there, actually, at the time too, I was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it says in, like, I don't know, first chapter, second chapter, go to your local RIA. It says it in there. And I'm the kind of person who reads a book. I do what, I won't go to chapter 2 until I figured out chapter 1. So, and that was in there, and that's another reason how I ended up getting there too, other than my friend just suggesting, hey, let's go to this one. So
have you ever been to any other clubs?
What's funny? No, I haven't. I've been to like some different summits or different, like the seminar things, but I've never attended. So there's a number of them that are out there, especially now. Everyone's different, but what I liked about RIA, for example, or Chicago area RIA, is it's a not-for-profit. It's a legit not-for-profit. I mean, they don't go there to do it to sell you nothing, and that's the beautiful thing about that.
Are they the only non-for-profit in the Chicagoland area?
I can't say that. We used to be. It used to be. Okay. But I said we because I've been a part of it for so long. Yeah. But I'm actually no longer on the board there. Actually, I've been jumping off a lot of different boards because of my obligations to my family now. But for the longest, I know that they were. They very well might still be. But.
So what do you think about those weekend seminars, those courses?
It's funny. My dad was just asking me about this over the weekend. He's like, "How could you stuff it? And then can you really make $1 million?" I can't do his accent the way he can, but yeah, man. You can do it. You can do anything you want. The problem is that people lack confidence. They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And anyone wants a silver bullet. Or I'm sorry, they want the silver bullet to all of a sudden, do this or do that, but it's really at the end of the day, it's all about, doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. That's success right there. That's how you achieve success, and you got to do it that way. So
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to one. If you're gung ho, quit your job, go and do it. I'm all for it, but most people, 99 out of 100 people, just, you're not built for it. You don't know enough to know what to do, and that's not smart. You know what I mean?
Right.
Go in the meantime, cut your teeth, learn the business,
yeah,
and then eventually just jump all in and commit.
Yeah. If you're thinking about it, you probably shouldn't jump into it. If you have to ask somebody else, is this something I should do? You probably shouldn't be doing it, especially quitting your job. And then a lot of these seminars are like $50,000.
Well, not the first ones, right? So they set you up to go there first. It's free, right? You get the intensive, and then all of a sudden, now I'm going to sell you $1,000 or $500 package. So you understand, dude? It's all lead gen.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all that it is. We're pre-qualifying you. We're getting you excited. We're gonna turn some suspects into prospects and some prospects into suspects.
Yeah,
that's how it's gonna happen. And then boom, they're gonna find the ones that really want to. But you know what? I'd fancy to say that if you know yourself very well and you know how you operate and you have discipline and you have good habits, good rituals, that you can succeed by doing that. I mean, pay someone to help you get further ahead. Why the hell not? But see, most of us that start that, we don't have that kind of income.
Yeah.
Right. We start with, no job, no income, no credit sort of thing.
Yeah.
And this is the only business I know where you can actually make something happen with no job, no income, no credit.
So after the cell phones, did you go into real estate full time?
No. So after the cell phones, I went away somewhere else for a while and then came back and basically what I do, I went into the fitness industry, was learning from a guy by the name of Jim Seltenrich, who used to run 24/7 Fitness, or I think it's called, out in California. It started out Fitness 19 over here, so very similar to like a Planet Fitness, but it was called Fitness 19. And at that time, I thought I wanted to be a franchisor or a person, like an operator. So I was basically talking shit next to this one guy in a treadmill, and he's like, "Hey, let's go sit down and talk." So he sits down. He just realized that, yeah, man, this guy's got something.
Right.
Hires me, start selling memberships, do a bang up job. It's just kind of like was my thing. But at that time I was young, I was dumb, I was unorganized, I was just kind of living paycheck to paycheck sort of thing. So I ended up getting fired from that job because I think I was getting tired of doing the marketing or something, and I went to go sleep with my girlfriend, who was my wife at the time, and I came back and I realized that, oh man, I got shit canned. That's funny. But man, I'll tell you what, best experience I ever got. Working for somebody and learning how, what it takes to run a real business, because the whole agreement there was, Chris, if you do good and then you learn how to duplicate yourself, I will basically buy another club and you will run it and you'll earn 20% of it. I mean, what a fantastic deal is that? I mean, when you're 20, 21 years old, you have nothing, you know what I mean? I'm getting paid $1,000 a month. Okay. I mean, at the time, I think my car payment was like $600, which is, it can only tell you, how stupid I was when it came to money. So, but what an opportunity, and I saw that. And during this time, I'm reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, I'm reading these different books, and I'm just realizing that working for someone else is just that's not what you want to do.
So you never bought that 4-unit from the Indian guy?
No, man. You know what? No, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm really glad I didn't. So I just, I don't know what it was. I mean, like I said, I think I just didn't qualify for the credit. And I think eventually I was like, all right, this is getting kind of crazy. I mean, who the hell wants to sell me property? I mean, at the time, I think I just got a car. I was driving a Mitsubishi Lancer.
So did you become a realtor and then buy your first income property, or did you invest? Were you an investor and then?
So I became a realtor first.
Okay.
And then after I became a realtor, I think by the end of my first year, I bought my first property.
Okay. Do you think it's important to be a realtor if you're going to invest in real estate? I mean,
No, I don't necessarily think that's the case, and there's a lot of cases where it's not wise because the number one thing is called disclosure. You have to tell everyone that you're a real estate agent, not because you're you're trying to generate leads, but because you have to notify the public that, hey, I'm a shark, in effect, is really what it's like. So, if you're doing yellow letters or anything like that, it's a lot more difficult to try to get that deal because now you're going on unsuspected people and they know you're a real estate agent, so they probably know a little something extra.
Right.
So I would say that if you're looking really at you understand sales, you can do sales, and you like working with people and like helping people, become a realtor.
Yeah.
Sell some property.
So you feel like you have the upper hand over wholesalers when you're marketing?
I guess that depends. I guess that really depends, but I don't understand why. It's funny. I even find realtors that want to wholesale, and I just don't understand. Like, you have a license to print money. Mm-hmm. Why the hell would you even think about wholesaling? Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's so. Yeah, I think in a sense I have an upper hand because I understand ethics. I subscribe to a larger network, the National Association of Realtors, the Main Street Board of Realtors as well. Educational wise, there's continuing education that we have to do. There's certain tools. I have access to the MLS. Now, not to say that a wholesaler can't get access to that. The big thing with wholesalers that most people don't understand the difference between realtors is a wholesaler is purely a marketer. Realtors don't understand that they're also marketers. So they try to use, it's like trying to use this rock to leverage your way into a door, whereas, and that's what they want to do where wholesalers just say, forget the rock, I'm just going to, I don't know, maybe that's a poor analogy, but, wholesalers, they just market the hell out of people. And I'm not, I know some that do okay.
Yeah.
But, here's the other thing is the people that move wholesale deals, I think it's crap. Who the hell wants to live in Country Club Hills, or who the hell wants to live in wherever, south side of Chicago? I mean, no disrespect over there, but it's like not where I want to buy property. It's just not where I want to buy it.
And that is where the majority of these deals are going down in those lower income areas where people are, because it's pretty much usually a wholesale deal goes down in a super motivated seller that needs to get rid of it like ASAP.
Yeah.
Right.
And I probably catch some guff for this with respect to it. So nothing against wholesalers as far as it goes. I mean, I put it to you this way: if you are doing it and you're doing it above board, and you have actual contractual interest to sell that property, because that's the only way you can actually wholesale. You have to actually have contractual interest. Okay. So you have to do the whole and/or assigns thing. I get it, but good luck getting someone to sign that to begin with. And if they do, whatever. There's a whole set of circumstances that come along with that. But man, it's like anything. If you want to, whatever you want to sell, just sell it. Just move it. Just tell everybody and everything about it. It's the same thing.
That's the thing that they don't tell them. They tell them that they're the end buyer, the cash buyer.
That's one of the problems that I have with it.
And then they lock up the contract, and then they go find their buyer, and they leave that whole message out to the seller.
See, what the thing is, where I say the upper hand is that I would say that I have the upper hand because I have the capacity to go out and basically make anybody a client, where they have the capacity to only make certain individuals a client, right? I mean, we get to build relationships with people, whether it's buying, whether it's selling, and though I don't. You got to build a relationship to sell one house 7 years. I'm not into that sort of thing. So that's why I like to focus on like expireds and FSBOs. But needless to say, I'd rather I'd rather cast a bigger net. You know what I mean? Whereas they have to focus on people that have to sell. And don't get me wrong, that's good for business. But I don't know. I think it's a limited pool.
You're seeing a bigger net on the MLS?
I'm just saying it's a bigger net because you know what? That's where a majority of property trade via the MLS, right? Okay. And I'm saying is that even if you don't have listings, you can look at any property on that MLS and you can pitch any one of those properties to anyone you want and try to move that product.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome. You don't even own the inventory. You don't got to do nothing for it. All you got to do is come up with a creative way to put that property in front of somebody.
Right.
So you do not target off-market deals?
I do target off-market deals in the sense of trying to get them to help them to sell them.
To list it.
To list it. Perfect. Yeah. And that's right. I mean, that makes sense.
Exactly. Now, are you seeing any issue with that? Because, so what's your target, like your niche for the off-market deals? I know you said expireds, but are you doing like probates? Who is your motivated seller?
Well, my main motivated seller is an expired lead. Okay. Somebody that has expired. Okay. I like pre-foreclosures a lot.
Pre-foreclosures?
Okay. Pre-foreclosures, because they're, you can find them, obviously.
So you're saying, some of the pre-foreclosures, they're probably getting some letters from wholesalers, right?
Oh, I'm positive. It's all about who gets to the door, who gets in front of them either first, but more importantly, who follows up.
Right.
That's what it's all about, the follow-up. You send one letter, everyone wants to send mass mail, and you know how expensive these things are.
Super expensive.
It's crazy. So you got to target what it is that you want, and then you go for it. Whether it's just knocking on the door, leaving a little Post-it with some information on there. Hey, I help out people. I specialize in helping people in your exact scenario. If you're looking to sell your home, please call me at 224-595-5277 sort of thing. And if they call, great. But you can't just have. We were talking about earlier. You can't just have one spoke. You got to have multiple spokes. You got to have multiple ways to generate business. Yeah. And right now, I mean, there's the lowest record of foreclosures ever right now.
Yeah,
so I mean, but I think that's you're right. It's a good thing, but I also think it's a great thing because you know what? When that pops again one day, maybe there's opportunity. So you keep cutting your teeth when you can, and then before you know it, boom, boom. You got a lot of business coming in.
The market is definitely ever so changing, right? It's always changing.
Absolutely.
It's always and then there's different niches for different times too, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of short sales specialists that are probably not doing as much as they once were. So you got into real estate, And tell us about your first deal. You were a
man.
realtor for a year. You said right before you bought your first deal, right?
Everyone remembers their first deal.
Oh, absolutely.
What was this thing?
Man, I ripped the panties off this bitch. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It wasn't like
Put them on the wall.
Yeah. No, more like this property put me against the wall, dude. Let me tell you something. So, I'm basically find an opportunity to buy this property, borrow the money from somebody. So I borrow money basically from
Private money?
Private money.
At
private
this
money.
time, were you
Your first
you were
deal.
still working?
So at this time, you guys got to forgive me because I will jump on you
No, it's
so
cool.
much,
It's
and I'll
cool.
take you guys down
It's
the
cool.
rabbit
We
hole. I
do
told you
that. People say that
all the time.
We do that
dude.
all the time.
So
It's cool.
before I became a realtor, I was working at fitness, and then I did some other things, and then I worked for my father-in-law. And during this time, I was trying to get my act together. I was fixing my credit, doing all this different stuff, saving up money, and then I saved up like $10,000. During this time, I was moonlighting, trying to get
How quick you saved 10,000?
Dude, I think it took me like, I don't know. I think it took me like maybe 8 months, maybe a year.
Okay.
I mean, but I went hard. So at this time, I was going to Korea as well, and my guy told me, "Hey, why don't you go to Financial Peace University," which was Dave Ramsey's course, and took that. Man, what a life
Game changer?
What a life-changing thing. So I went to actually teach that at the different.
How much was it?
I think it's like $100. Right now, I think it's $129.99.
dude.
It's 9 weeks. This is, man,
No-brainer.
if you don't, well, it's a no-brainer for someone who understands the concept of learning and
sure.
wants to do something with it. Okay. A lot of people think, $100. You know what I'm saying? Gift it to them. That'd be the best gift you could ever give anybody. If someone wanted to borrow money from me, I'd be like, okay, here's the money, but you got to take this course. Anyway, so we do that. I'm getting my life together. I'm saving up money. I'm living at my mom's house. I'm working as a service writer in an automotive repair shop, and then saving up money. And then one day I go tell my soon to be my future father-in-law. I was like, "Hey man, I got to fire you." He's like, "Ha ha ha." I'm like, "No, I'm serious. I'm firing you. I'm quitting. This is my 2 weeks." So ended up quitting that. At this time I already had I got approved for my license, which that was a big ordeal to do that. I can't really go into it, but that happened. And then I became an agent. So as my first deals, I got my first commission check within I put my first deal together in within 3 weeks of getting my thing. I didn't get a commission check in 3 weeks, but you know what I mean? I put my first deal, found that I was pretty good at moving product. I was moving a lot of rentals. So I'm sitting there saving up money. I got money saved up. I'm just, I'm struggling. I'm hustling. I'm doing everything I need to do. Phone to the ear all day, all long, sitting in McDonald's, sitting in Starbucks. I get presented with an offer that said, "Hey, here's a deal. I'll lend you the money," sort of thing. And, but I had to put 10% of my own money. So I had about 10 G's stacked up. I had to put $4,500 into this thing, going purely on faith. I'm sitting there negotiating the deal, and they're telling me that, "Hey, listen, you got to get the contract. So I'm negotiating with the guy, presenting a $45,000 all cash offer.
What is this? A single family duplex?
This is a condo. This is particularly, it's a condo.
Okay.
It's a studio condo, actually.
Okay.
And
Where at?
in Lisle.
Okay.
In Lisle, Leslie.
Do you still own this?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. This
Long
is
term, baby.
Pride and joy.
This is the nicest property that I probably own, and we're gonna get to that story. We're gonna get to that why. And then I remember negotiating this deal, and I'm telling this guy, "Listen, guy, it's like this is a $45,000 condo. I mean, to me, this is a lot of money. I don't even have this kind of money." And I'm telling the guy, like, "Listen, I'm drawing an account over $1 million. If you don't give me the contract here by noon o'clock today, it's like we're done. We're gone." So. Surprisingly, and so I did this without presenting earnest money. So then the way I presented my pre-approval, because he wanted a pre-approval, is I sent him the next day a picture of a cashier's check for $45,000. Obviously not my money. Right. But the money I was basically borrowing it. So it was cool. It was a cool negotiation as far as that, because otherwise, you know how it is. Without a pre-approval, you ain't getting far.
Right.
Yeah.
So being able to do that. So I got that. Stupid me, I ended up getting it, and I pretty much gutted the whole thing. Took out the flooring, painting, took out all the, I did all new flooring in the entire thing, carpet, tile, new tub, new casing, new doors, new vanity,
Wow.
You did this yourself?
So mostly myself. I had a couple people come in and help me, but it was me. It wasn't like, I had someone come and show me and help me put in a tub. Like I had never done that before.
Friends, family?
Actually the guy that lent me the money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So
So this guy that lent you the money also, did he give you kind of some tips on what kind of stuff he would do with the property? I mean, this is someone that is also a real estate investor, I
yeah,
probably
yeah.
imagine. And so he had some input on what you should do to it?
Yeah,
or
I
is-
mean, yeah, some input. Yeah, I mean, kind of give me guidelines. I mean,
Yeah.
very similar to like what I would do nowadays, and I would show anybody how to, how to turn over a property. In effect, it's the same thing. But it was funny because I went way above and beyond. Like what I would do today would
I was going to
never,
ask you
know what
that.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you the other part of that. I'll tell you about deal number 2 and how that went. But yeah, in a nutshell, it took me 5 months to do this deal.
The first one.
All the while, I'm sitting there just milking out my savings account, paying out every month $752.22. That's exactly what the mortgage payment. That wasn't including the HOA. That wasn't including the taxes. None of that. So I was actually at the end of 5 months, had this beautiful product. Got a tenant in there. So once I put it on the market, I had a tenant in 2 weeks, 2-year lease. Her name was Holly. She was a fantastic tenant. I think she stayed there for 3 years.
That's
actually.
awesome.
I was losing $22 a month on that deal. 22. I was losing.
What do you mean when you said losing? What does that
Meaning
mean?
I
What
was
does that mean?
upside down. Meaning the total cost to hold that property was something like $820 or something, and I was renting that sucker out for $793.
You're saying that your mortgage was how much?
My mortgage, or wait, no, this was, let's see, yeah, so no, 750. What was it? Yeah, 752.22 was I was paying it for principal and interest. Okay. And then when you included all the HOA and stuff, maybe I had my numbers mixed up, but
Yeah.
I mean, because the HOA had to be at least on another 160 or something.
I'm
like
just
that.
trying to get this clarified because you're talking in these investor terms, and not everybody is super
okay.
familiar with these, holding costs and your debt service and all the lingo that you
Sure.
you speak about.
Did you do your numbers before you bought this? Did you know it was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
negative
so-
cash flow?
So yeah, yes,
Okay, so-
I knew that. What was worse is that I had dumped about $4,500 in materials into this thing, okay, and made this thing look all beautiful. But at the end of which, and I put that all, by the way. So when I was doing that, and I'm paying the mortgage payment, I'm putting all the materials on a Menards card for 6 months, 12 months, 0%
Nice.
interest. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all in on this deal. So while I'm going there every single day, and at the time I wasn't married yet, but I was living with my wife, or I was just getting into living with her. Man, I'm sitting on 5-gallon buckets, writing up business, on the phone, trying to move product. While I'm down there, I'm going in between like Superman, putting in my wrinkle-free shirt with my tie. Shit might have been a clip-on, I don't know. And then I'm going and moving product. I'm coming back. I'm setting the toilet. I'm grouting this. I'm doing that. It was exciting. It was an exciting time. And nowadays I don't look at it as like so exciting. I'm like, gosh, I got to do all of that.
Yeah.
You gotta
just
start somewhere though.
Yeah, no, and I tell you, it's necessary because a guy that flips, you can't tell me anyone that runs a McDonald's right now and never flipped a fry before.
Right.
I mean, you got to start from the ground up.
Yeah.
So were you betting on appreciation?
Dude, back then I was so dumb. I was young and dumb. Now I can just say that I'm dumb, right? But I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know.
I know. I'm just curious because I mean that's some veteran investors as well too. They still, especially into the Chicagoland area, it's hard to find some properties that are like that are cash flowing pretty well, and they're still okay with buying them, especially on the MLS. That they're just betting on appreciation pretty much.
I mean, you can do that. I mean, that's at the end of the day, isn't that part of it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's definitely a perk. That's probably one of the best perks. But
I mean, if anything, if anyone wants to buy property, buy it for the tax benefits. I mean, if
Yeah.
anything, your number one tax liability, or your number one liability in life is taxes. So you're paying 20, 30, 40% in taxes all your life. I mean, half the year, more than half the year, you're paying to the government.
yeah,
So figure out a way to minimize your tax liability. I don't care. Buy as many properties and they negative cash flow. It doesn't matter to me.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, by those losses are going to offset whatever the income you're bringing. Now, at the end of the day, that's not ideally what you want to do.
Have you ever got burnt on a property?
No. Now, have I burned myself? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like that. Like, I mean, nowadays you can't think about buying a property and sitting on it for 5 months to get it rented. Now, looking back on it, I should have just bought it. I should have, done the electric, done the plumbing. I should have got it rented for $50 less. I'm sorry, rented it for $50 less and been done. My net would have been so much higher.
Yeah.
Right. But of course, I didn't know better. I thought I had to go in there and do it all up. Man, I was piecing out there was laminate flooring in there. I took all that apart very nicely, and then I sold it to somebody on Craigslist for $145.
That's awesome.
You know, I found a Magic Chef microwave, and it was red. $20 I sold that for. There was one of those little shades. It's like it trifolds, and then you put it out so that way you can hide when you're putting your clothes on or something like that.
Yeah.
Sold that sucker for like $15.
That's awesome.
I was piecemealing this stuff out as I'm sitting there working, getting this property ready.
That's awesome.
And then, so yeah, it didn't cash flow. I was losing money on the deal. Then I went and bought another property about 4 months later, after I'd finally maybe 3 months later. Bought it from an auction property. Bought it for 63.
After it was rented out.
Yeah.
No.
So
after unit 1 was rented, yes.
So sorry to go back to the first one. So what was as far as the financing? You had a private funds, right, for the first one. What was the exit? To refinance, put a long-term mortgage on it, and then do it again, or
well, I mean, really, the long-term goal is pay it off.
Okay.
Right, but you got to go from A to B to C first. So right.
What does that look like? So you get the funds. You purchase the.
So I tell people you got to have 3 sources of funds, right? You know, call it 3 tiers, if you will. Tier 3, it can be any kind of money. It could be hard money. It could be credit card money. It could be 15% plus interest, or whatever it is. I don't care what it is. That's money that you have that you can pull today. And if there's a deal, an opportunity in front of you, boom, you can buy it. Go and get it. I don't care what it costs.
Right.
Right. The tier 2 kind of money is the kind of money that we're seeing that's way more accessible nowadays, where you can find something between, call it 7 and 10%. You can get an not institutional, but there's asset-based loans out there, where meaning that they don't, the people that are giving the money out, they will look at the asset, meaning the property, and qualify it based on its ability to pay back based on what the rents are, so on and so forth, rather than looking at the individual. Is the individual's balance sheet, the individual's debt to income. Don't get me wrong, I mean, they still look, but it's a lot more based on the asset itself. So meaning if the mortgage payment, if the thing rents for $1,200 and the mortgage payment is less than $1,200, for the most part, that's going to be good. That's money.
Yeah.
But if it's otherwise, then it don't work. Then you got to have tier 1 money, which is institutional money, right? You got to, what can we get at 4.5? Well, investment loans we get as low as 6% right now.
Yeah.
So you kind of get an idea. But so I like that tier 2 money, that in between, where you can find a private individual, show them how to earn 7-8% on their money year after year. You don't got to do nothing but collect a check.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So any input for maybe somebody that's starting off, has no experience, right? You probably approach this investor that has a bunch of money. What do you say? What do you tell them for them to believe in you, to lend you the 45K or the 60 or the?
You're talking about like the
tier 2 money.
The newbie though. You're talking about the newbie.
Yeah, the newbie. Yeah.
The newbie shouldn't even be talking tier 2 guy.
Yeah.
Newbie should be talking to tier 3, and really and maybe if not that, you'd be really investing in themselves. You need to give before you can take is the biggest thing. You need to show other people what you're worth and what you can do, because otherwise this is a relationship-based business. I mean, people don't lend money to people that they don't trust. You got to do business with people that like, and trust. And you got, start somewhere.
Every time that I would go to some of these real estate associations, there would be somebody. Everybody's trying to pitch you, right? You're going around the room or whatever. You're saying, "What do you do? You're a real estate investor. I'm a landlord or whatever." And somebody's always trying to pitch you for that JV, man.
Isn't it stupid? Because I find it stupid because you're purposely going in a pool full of sharks. Don't you think the other sharks are looking for the same thing?
Right, exactly.
But at the end of the day, this is how, if you have good sales skills, you can get what it is that you can get what you need.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. They say find the deal first. The money's not the issue. It's the deal.
I don't know, man. I feel
say.
I feel a little bit reserved with you guys right now. I don't know why.
Really? Why?
I don't know.
This is your show, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
We just put the Ralphie and Ryan Show, but this is for the people, by the people.
Double R, man. You guys are like the Rough Riders.
So one of the things that I tell Ryan, right?
Rough Riders.
You know, man. How old are you, Ryan?
26.
Damn, young buck, Jack.
Yeah. What were you gonna tell me?
I was gonna talk to you about the Rough Riders, about DMX.
Oh, dude!
Come on, man.
I grew up in the '90s.
Yeah, okay.
My parents are young, so I grew up listening to that stuff.
I always tell Ryan that if you are not the asset, right? The people are not banking on you pulling through with the investment. If you find something that's extremely cheap and there's somebody that could put a lien on it and is willing to lend you the money, and even if you don't pull through with the investment, they could get a property at a great deal. There's just like you said, if they're banking on a property that's well under market value, there's a higher possibility that they will lend you the money if you approach somebody that you have no previous relationship with, which is kind of what newbies are approaching experienced investors with, right? So if Ryan were to approach me and he says he's never done a deal before and he's got $5,000 in the bank, I probably wouldn't lend you $100K of my money.
What if I present you a good deal, big juicy deal?
Who gives a shit?
If it's a juicy deal, even if you don't pull through, and I get it on the backside, all right, let's do it.
I don't know, man. I think that's ass backwards.
Yeah.
I think it starts with you, man.
Yeah.
I think you are the product at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to sell yourself. You have to show people why they would do business with you. I mean, there's no shortage of money that's out there. There's no question about it.
That's for damn sure.
There's no shortage, right? But at the end of the day, what there is short of, character, integrity, honesty, ethics.
And deals.
And well, yeah, and nowadays, yeah, there is deals. But you know what? I'll tell you what, man, I think nowadays is where, if you've been doing the business long enough and if you're doing all the things that you should be doing, right? Which ideally you should be living on less than you make. It doesn't matter. Go and save some money. You buy, I don't care. Go buy at retail. It don't matter because at the end of the day, you should be buying what a quality product is because a quality product always gets good renters or good tenants. And then long term, as long as you can manage that property cost effectively, I mean, it's a win-win deal. You buy it for the long term. I mean, if you're buying, I think there's, you have to, so you were talking about the first guy about, finding money. I think you got to identify what your goals are, number one. You have to know what you want first and foremost. Number one, I mean, really just invest in yourself, know what you're doing, commit to the process, make a decision and go full on. You can't expect to swim with 1 foot on the dock. Right. And you got to be able to convey that to people. You got to show people that, hey, this is what I do. Even if you're new, you got to still be able to show the commitment. And then, it starts there.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your second deal. So this first one you decked out, right? There's marble in this thing?
No. It's some $1 light brown ceramic tile from Menards, Jack. Yeah. No, it's gorgeous though.
What does the second deal look
so
like? Another condo?
Yeah. Second deal is a condo. It was in Bloomingdale. Got it on auction.com, $63,000. Man, I mean, could you imagine buying something for $60,000 nowadays? Yeah, you can't.
People be running over.
I know.
Yeah.
You still have this one?
I've never sold a property in my life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, done and done. So, so ended up getting on this. The funny story with this is this went through auction.com through like 4 times. The funny thing is if they would have sold it to me on the first, they probably would have made about $25,000 more, but they didn't. So, and then I ended up getting lucky, and then I ended up securing it. I bought it. I got a 100% loan against it. So now I built a track record with this individual, showing, hey, I can stumble through, but at the end of the day, I paid.
Yeah.
I didn't have the thing rented. I paid it every single month. And I said, hey, no, it's all good. Paying it. Struggling, trying to cut deals together and make business happen. Got this thing together, dude, up and running in 2 weeks.
Sweet.
Learned real quick.
Yeah.
Came in, dude. I sold that. I rented that fucker with pink walls to him. Yeah.
Is it because you used all your funds on the first deal and you just didn't
I don't
have any
think.
money?
I don't think I had any money. I mean,
that's what I'm guessing.
I just had at this time. So I understood how to make money. I understood how to save money. I understood how to manage the money, which is super, super important. And if you can't do that, then you know what, man, stop. Get your money right. Get your mind right first off, then get your money right. Because then I got in there, did the electric, did the plumbing. All the while I'm learning this stuff. I mean, I don't, learning how to replace GFCIs. It's a ground fault circuit interrupter. That's one of the things that in the bathroom where your girlfriend uses the hair dryer too much and then the thing blows. Replacing. That's the most difficult thing of the electric system as far as these units usually go. I think it had a hole in the door. It was pink walls and the guy wanted to paint it. And so I let him paint it. And one of the worst mistakes I ever did. So we painted it like lime green and light gray underneath the cabinet. Should have just kept it pink. And then at the end of the day, he ended up having to cut out in his lease early because he lost his job, but he communicated it to me. So
that's important.
So what's lucky is we find really good quality tenants. And it's all based on how you pre-qualify them, number one, and how you screen them.
So you didn't have a property manager. You were.
I was the property manager.
Okay.
Yeah, and I am the property manager. So moving forward, so that's kind of what I do. So I'm a trifecta of all this stuff, man. But now it's gotten a lot easier. It's better.
Yeah.
You know, it's more systematized, if you will.
Have you had any nightmare tenants?
No, I really haven't.
Any evictions? No evictions.
No evictions.
No evictions. Wow, that's really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, dude, our average tenant got a 720 credit score, makes $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's
what's your turnover look like?
My turnover is pretty low, man.
Really?
I'm super profitable when it comes to, now when you count like for mortgages and stuff like that, I mean, it's different, right?
Right.
But when it comes to like operating the business, dude, super good.
Right.
Yeah, and that's right there. That will make the difference when I tell you about buying property that you can cost effectively manage and maintain. That's the biggest thing, because turnover is the biggest thing for a landlord.
Yeah, you think about one month that your property is vacant is.
Keep in mind too, I'm a realtor, and I'm even charging myself 1 month. I got to pay a commission out. You know what I'm saying? So I offer a month rent, 50% to the buyer, 50% to the listing side. So I'm already making 50% of that already, because I'm the listing agent on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
But back then I was super motivated to go rent out the other side, to double side my own unit, right? So I would at least keep 70% of whatever the 1 month was. So, and that factors into it, because for most people, like for example, if you're not an agent, you're going to pay, and we did a transaction like that one time, and I think, you had to pay, 1 month, and at the end of the day, it might have been really worth it. It was a write-off for you, but still, now think about it, you can do it yourself.
Huge. Yeah. So I was a real estate investor first before I became a realtor, and it's a huge advantage to be able to market your property yourself, which
if you can.
Yeah, you always think you can do it better, even if you can't, right? You always think that you can write a better description or better whatever, right? You always feel that you can do it better, and then the big tax break, the big break of 50% of the commission, which is huge. Yeah, that's one of the things that I was going back and forth if I should or if I shouldn't. But then I was helping family members, because people knew that I owned property, and people would approach me and say, "Hey, do you mind coming out on Saturday and Sunday so we can see homes?" I said, why am I driving around with family members and friends when I can just get my license and collect commissions? One of the reasons why I became a realtor. But yeah,
absolutely.
So real quick, Chris, because I know you're huge on Dave Ramsey and
Dave,
you subscribe to that.
That's my guy. Dude, that's my boy right there, man. I like Dave.
Yeah,
man. Dave's good people.
What's the saying? Better than he deserves.
Dude, I feel better than I deserve.
Better than I deserve.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I think it's important that we mention him, because you said about having your finances right,
dude.
And especially when you're going into business, I think it's super important to first have your personal finances in order before. What a business is another entity, right? That you're keeping track of, and you're building a track record for another entity. If you don't have your shit together, there's no way that you can build a profitable business, because you're going to be Mr. Spender and not know where to cut corners and where you can save money. So let's talk a little bit about how you save money, how you track your money, and then
that's interesting, man. Cool.
What your goals are. Do you still listen to Dave Ramsey every single day?
No, not every single day. He's definitely one of the podcasts that I have on there, but I don't, a lot of it I've heard, you know what I mean? I've listened for so much and so long that it's just, but sometimes when I see a nice subject line, maybe I'll catch it. Yeah. Something about hearing that Jerry Rafferty Baker Street. Oh my God, man. That still gives me chills down there. You probably don't even know some, you're looking at me like
he never really got into Dave Ramsey.
You got to hear that Jerry Rafferty Baker Street, man. Yeah. Oh, dude, it's such a good song, dude. Motherfucker, look it up on YouTube.
I don't even know how to freaking spell it.
Jerry Rafferty, Gerry.
I'll look it up after.
Yeah, dude. We'll put it
as the intro. It'll be
dude. I'm telling you,
song. I thought it was
it's a song, dude.
I thought it was a guy on there.
It's his intro song to when the whole show starts. Oh man, it's awesome.
Yeah, and
then oh dude, it's great. I love it. It's exciting.
Yeah.
If it wasn't so slow, I'd have it on my workout mix.
I actually thought about about going to, what is he, Tennessee, right?
He's in Tennessee.
Tennessee, and visiting him in his studio, because I love that screams.
Oh yeah,
I like that. And then they also have a Millionaire Hour. Have you listened to the
Millionaire Hour?
Yeah, Millionaire Hour.
Absolutely.
Which that's super motivating, because a lot of people. Well, I would let you talk.
Yeah. What's up?
But I mean, a lot of people. The misconception is that a lot of these millionaires come from money, right? Or are,
and they're self-made. That's the bottom line. That's the whole thing about them. I mean, they did a lot of, someone told me that success is doing a lot of little things good consistently, right? I mean, and that's but there's a lot of definitions to success, but that's a way to be successful.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's spending less than you make. It's
What does that mean?
Okay, if you make $20,000 a year, don't spend 22. Right? Don't use credit cards. Pay everything. Hell yeah, it's easy to say. Especially when you got Instagram, you got all this dog shit that's out there.
Yeah.
People want to live the life. You know what I mean? The whole millennial movement and everything. It's like people. I don't know. People don't want to work hard. It's like if you were born after 1992, you don't understand ethic. You don't understand how to work. It's. I don't know.
So when did that click in your head?
Man, so
because you had a $600.
Dude, I had a fucking.
What were you paying $600 for back then?
Dude, if you look at it, I was probably paying like 12% interest on the fucking car. You know what I'm saying?
I want to guess. I want to guess what he was driving.
What year was this?
This was 2013, so I was driving a brand new car.
Okay. A 13.
Wait, no.
Dude, I'm thinking you're talking about like the 90s.
No. I'm sorry. Forgive me. This is
early 2000s.
Dude, I don't even. Man, it's been so long now. It's been.
Well, you said you were at the cell phone place, right?
Yeah, no, not in 2013. You're right. That was definitely not that. I don't know. 2000. No, I was at the fitness place when I drove the car.
Dude, it was a Ford Pinto, dude.
No, fuck that. I don't even know the years. Seriously, I had to go back and look. It was mid 2000s or something.
I think he was driving a Cadillac. He looked like a Cadillac.
Oh, fuck that.
No, then you had that
Fleetwood Broham.
You had. If you didn't have that, then you had
I said it earlier, bruh.
A Civic Si.
No, man.
It wasn't.
No, it was a Mitsubishi Lancer.
A Lancer. An Evo?
Oh, dude,
No,
Fast and the
just
Furious
like-
got you. That's what it was.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
they got their
Did you have the
hooks in
nitrous
me,
on it?
dude?
Yeah.
Fuck that. I had the paddle shifters and shit.
Yeah?
This was the first. So I don't even know. You guys probably know cars better than me, but this was the first year when they had the paddle shifters came on the Lancer. It was the GTS. It was just it had a freaking Rockford Fosgate screen in there. It was sharp.
Yeah.
But dude, I think I ended up paying like $350 a month on the payment. I was paying another $100 a month for insurance. Okay, now we're at $450. Plus, you start thinking about repair and maintenance, gas, tires, so on and so on. I'm paying $600 a month for a car. See, back then I didn't understood that. I just knew that I had reliable transport. I just knew I had a nice car. It wasn't until I started to listen to Dave Ramsey that I realized people don't need a nice car. They need reliable transportation.
Right.
That's what they need. So then I ended up getting rid. So I ended up selling that car. At this point, I got fired from my job at the fitness place. Ended up deciding to sell my car. Got haggled down. Really, I didn't know shit about negotiations. This Polak guy just jewed me down, found out exactly how much I owed, and he was like, "Well, how much am I pay you?" Fuck, damn, So that's it. And I went with my mom to like Oak Park or somewhere, where it looked like the concrete jungle, and the guy bought it, and and then so I ended up getting sold that, and then
You took the car to get it sold? They're supposed to come to you, dude, and buy it.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Some people's kids.
Jeez.
I'll tell you.
And then he jewed you down.
And
on
then
the price.
he got me, dude.
Damn.
That's a good deal.
Dude, you know what? Took advantage, full advantage, man. If any of my friends are gonna watch this, they're gonna be like, that's typical Leonski, dude. That's getting done with. That's, man, fuck, dude. I'm a lot smarter than I look. I've been a lot dumber than I look, but I know whatever. And then so I bought a 2000. Dude, I rocked that Ford Taurus for a minute and a half.
Yeah,
dude,
that was the car.
That
man.
GL, dude. I mean, that shit was sick. You put that seat
Is
back.
it the bubble one?
Hell yeah,
Oh, dude, I
dude!
think
Come
it was
on,
so ugly.
that shit was fire, dude.
No, it
Let me tell you why that shit was so fire. Do you
Why?
even understand why?
It probably ran
Motherfucking paid off, dude.
Oh,
I
for
bought
sure.
that
That's the
sumbitch for
most important.
$1,200, dude.
Yeah.
So I think I rode that thing for like 3 years.
I probably had like 400,000 miles on it.
Dude, that thing had many a
What color?
mile on it, dude.
Blue,
like
blue.
no,
The
dude,
light
fuck
blue.
that.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're
The maroon. It was the maroon. It was the maroon.
It wasn't dark as maroon, but it was like that red grim.
I know what you're talking
That's
about.
what your Aunt Diane drives to
Yeah.
go to Jewel Osco
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
But that's a perfect color, because then the rust blends in.
Oh, dude, yeah, dude. That I had that custom shit.
Yeah, you ordered it with?
No, I ordered it with custom rust, dude.
Okay.
That was solid, dude.
All right,
man. I think I had the 16s on it, dude, with like the one center cap that hides the lug nuts.
Those had the center cap.
It was missing and shit. That shit was fire, dude. Not tan leather. It looked like leather, but
out of all this shit, I catch so much shit about telling people that they're driving way too much. I catch the most shit for that, don't I?
Driving way too much?
You know, driving a vehicle that's too expensive.
This guy, that Subaru Legacy, used to drive that Legacy for, shit, how long did you have that car for?
I had a 95 Subaru Legacy that I sent it to the junkyard, still running, but it had 220,000 miles. I bought it for $600. I put a switch in the transmission and I drove it for 11 years.
Wow.
Dude, that thing had
That's
bullet
like the best
holes
car.
in it, dude. I'm serious. Like, it wasn't even a car. It was, like, talk about rust. You should have seen this thing. You have any pictures of this thing?
I should yeah. I got some pictures that I can throw out.
What
you know what would be sick? I'm just gonna throw this out there. Like, it'd probably be very Joe Roganish, but if you guys had like a little TV that was right there and you could throw some shit up on there.
Talking about it right there.
That would be sick.
On the wall.
You can get it on the TV, or the video camera can get it and stuff like that.
Screen record it.
Yeah.
I like that, dude. Yeah, because I'd show you unit number 1 right now and unit number 2.
Dude, that would have been perfect.
I'd show you all that shit. I got the pictures of me wearing this stupid ass Goodwill flannel.
I remember your flannels,
dude. Man. I remember dude. There were flannels.
Flannels,
dude. Flannels. You gotta,
that was your style.
You gotta jazz them up a little bit. You know what I'm saying, dude? I even rocked the Velcro shoes for a minute. Watch out.
Nah,
dude.
for real.
Dude, I'll fuck you up.
Man, you took frugal to the max.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude. You could get a lot for $8.88
Was it just
at
because
Walmart.
Did you buy the Velcro because you just need something to slip on and get out the house real quick, or they were just the cheapest?
Nah, dude, they were cheap,
you were just trying to.
Dude, I went to the extreme, man. I mean, I went to the extreme.
That's way
dude.
extreme, dude.
I still buy stuff from Goodwill. No bullshit. I mean, I think the most expensive thing I'm wearing today is this stupid hat that I got at Disney.
Goodwill's a trending thing right now, so.
Well, dude, you can find brand name stuff over there, right? But I mean, dude, there's nothing better than buying a shirt for like $1.98 or whatever the hell it is. You know what I mean? On yellow tag day.
Why is frugality important?
I don't know if it's important, but I think people should spend money on whatever it is that they love, whatever it's just like they just enjoy it, you know? Let's say coffee. If you just enjoy coffee so much, it's just your thing, spend as much as you want, but spend money on things that are less priority. Like for me, clothes, it's not the biggest thing. Like I don't really care. Like I don't give a fuck to impress you or anything. That's funny. I used to be back in the day. I used to rock like a $2,000 Maurice Lacroix watch. You know, when I was selling phones. You know, at one point drove a nice car. You know, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, dude, it's dude, like what they say. Something about ranch, no cattle. Big ranch, big hat, no cattle, whatever.
Yeah. No cattle.
That's, man, so when I see people that are flossing like that and looking at flossing, dude, yeah, that is from like Juvenile back in like 400 degrees, dude.
I think that's,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I haven't dropped
flossing in that Taurus, dude.
Oh, dude.
So you had that $2,000 watch driving in the Taurus.
No, dude, at that time, I think I ended up selling, this was some years ago, and I ended up selling it to a buddy. He always wanted that watch. I ended up selling. Dude, at one point in my life, dude, I was selling off so many fucking assets. You thought I was Michael Jackson, dude. I was investing in silver, hardcore. I had like, I don't know, like 70, 80 ounces of silver. I was buying that shit at $16 an ounce. So, dude, there was a lot that happened between the time of my leaving Fitness 19, working there, this after selling cell phones, and then finding Dave and trying to become a real estate agent, all that stuff.
So do you think you needed to get that out of your system? Like,
what
clicked? Like, so you wouldn't take that back. You're like, I needed to have that watch for a period of time.
No, the watch I bought when I was selling cell phones at Spring Hill Mall. And I bought that from Rogers and Hollins because I think I got it like same as cash, no money down or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was collecting liabilities. Liability is something that takes money out of your pocket rather than focusing on collecting assets, which are things that put money into your pocket.
Okay, it was just a mindset.
And I was young, dude. I was what, like out of high school, slanging phones. You know what I mean? I was making good money or whatever, what I thought was good money. But, anything is good money when you don't got bills. You're not paying rent to your, you know what I'm saying? You're not paying rent. All you got to pay is gas and for food. It's ridiculous. But it's learning and understanding it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much you keep.
Boom.
That's what that's about right there. That's knowledge, dude. That's bombs right there, dude. Dropping bombs on your moms. Dude, that's it.
Dude.
You got to do that, man. So, Dave Ramsey was super influential, super important. You got to learn how to take care of your money.
Yeah.
We are going to show you Ralphie eating a fried Twinkie in slow motion. So stay tuned.
What we do here is go back.
Oh my God, Vanessa. Let me see real quick. Vanessa just tried the ice cream. It's all over her face.
I think before we took a little break, but before we got off the air, we were talking about frugality. Is there anything that you recommend? Any tips to save some money? Because it's really what it's about, right? I mean, is that what you recommend? Save, get your finances straight, get out of.
I mean, let me tell you what it's really about.
What is it about?
What it's really about is acquiring these assets. That's what it's about. No one wants to hear about saving money and it's unsexy. It's whatever. And it's true. But don't get me wrong. Everyone's in a different scenario. But take my scenario, dude. I mean, yeah, I got my shit together. I got my credit right. I got my money right. But that's only because I decided that I wanted. Because Dave Ramsey always says, he's like, if you want to live, if you want to live like no one else, you got to live like no one else. Right? It's real simple. Mm-hmm. So meaning stop copying everybody, stop looking at all the bullshit, stop going out every single night, you know what I mean? And spending money you don't need to. Save your money. That ultimately, so that way, and you do something right with it. So it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep and what you do with what you keep. And getting into the process of learning how to buy and acquire assets. Rental property, business, royalties, copyrights, freaking farms, I don't care what it is. So
let's talk about a little bit about what I would consider your niche, because you have a lot of these things, right? These condos. Why condos? Why did you choose that asset to purchase?
Sure. I don't have an exact reason as to why. Someone else had showed me, basically said, hey, Chris, maybe you should go and buy this sort of thing. Now, circling back after this 8-9 years doing this business, I understand and see why. Okay. But for anyone else out there who's looking to buy an investment property, what I particularly like about condominiums is that they're easy to cost effectively manage and maintain. I mean, think about it. You got 600 square feet, walls in. That's it. That's all you got to maintain. You don't got to worry about bricks, tuck pointing, roofs, flashing.
Real quick, how do you buy a condo in Chicago?
Well, you can buy a condo just about anywhere. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be Chicago, western suburbs. But first and foremost, you want to get yourself a nice, a good realtor, a good agent who understands the lay of the land, if you will. So condominiums, in my opinion, it's an advanced way of buying property. This isn't just like going and buying, and you can call it what you want. Maybe I'm a little biased, but there is a lot more involved when you have to buy a condominium because politics become a big part of this. So certain buildings don't allow rentals. Certain buildings don't have good financials, and we can talk a little bit into that. But number one, if you're going to buy a condominium, find yourself a good real estate agent that knows that market, not just your friend who, sells houses occasionally. I mean, when you're looking for a good condominium, I mean, there's a lot of things that you want to look at.
What are some things you want to look at?
Well, you definitely want to see is how marketable it is as a product long term. It's not just, when you buy a product today at 25, you're going to be different when you sell it at 35 or 45 or whatever. The average person saves in a property 7 to 10 years. So you go and buy that property, say it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and you don't buy it with a parking space because you are okay with footing it to the blue line or whatever it is. That's cool. But at the end of the day, when you're 10 years later, you got a car, now you want to consider moving out to the suburbs or whatever it is, having that extra parking space is probably freaking huge. And then, you got to think about the end buyer. Does the end buyer want a parking spot? It's not just about me. So when people are buying a property, number one, you're really just buying a payment. You're buying property, but you're buying a payment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? $250,000 equates to how much money per month. So you got to find the fine balance between that, a nice building, a nice location, ensure that it's desirable. There's quite a bit that goes into it.
So one of the sexy things about condos, I think, is the a lower entry point, right? Because a lot of people could probably
Sure.
save the 20% for a condo much easier than you can probably your typical single family house. Definitely easier than a multifamily. Is there anything else that really is attractive about buying a condo versus a house, other than you don't have the liability of all the exterior expense?
I mean, like I said, it's easy to manage. It's easy to maintain. The fact that you just have to control that portion of it, I mean, is really nice just in itself. But there's a lot of bullshit that goes along with it.
What kind of tenants are you attracting to these?
I'm attracting young business professionals typically,
Yeah.
or much older people like late baby boomers.
Okay.
Or early baby boomers,
And-
people in their like.
Why? Why would that be an advantage versus getting a
So-
single family house with a family?
Sure. So, well, number one, people who lives in a let me ask you this question: who lives in a single family home? Let's take a 3-bedroom, 1-bath.
Mom, dad, son, daughter, a dog.
Yeah. So you got like what, 4 or 5 people and a pet, right? But
lot of flushes.
who lives?
Yeah, one person.
Who lives in a 2-bedroom
boyfriend,
apartment?
girlfriend.
Who lives in a 2-bedroom apartment with 1 bath?
Someone that's single, or maybe a couple.
Yeah, see, there you go. So, I mean, it's, you got to understand where the application is number one. If you look at the difference between apartments and condominiums, right? A condominium isn't a building. A condominium is a form of ownership. So if you look at a 100-unit building, let's say it's an apartment building. If it's an apartment building, one owner or a subset of owners own that entire building. They own that 100 units. In a condominium, one individual will own one of those units. They'll own 1A. Another owner will own 1B. Another unit owner will own 1C, so on and so forth. So you get the best of both worlds in that sense, where it's common area. People can walk up into the building. The parking lot's taken care of. The salting is done. The landscaping is done. If it's managed really well, it's in good shape. People can go, into a secure building, grab their mail, go to their
Part of
respective,
ownership, right?
right? They can go to their respective unit, and that's it. That's all they got to worry about. But
So who has to worry about everything else then? Who takes care
so
of
there's
it?
a management company typically that's gonna, and in some cases you can buy like a lot in the city. You can buy 3 flats I'm sorry, there's buildings that have 4 units in the entire association. It's basically 1 4-flat, and then it's self-managed by someone in there, which is a disaster. If anyone's going to buy investment property as a condominium, I would suggest you buy at least with 100 units. At least with 100 units, because you need the power of the numbers to average out the cost of what it takes to run that property. You know what I mean? At least 100 units is going to probably draw in at least $350,000 a year, maybe less. It just really depends. But you need to have enough money to cover the roofs, to cover the tuck pointing, the landscape. There's a lot. There's a lot that comes into it.
So you were talking about the politics and about getting to know the association, and obviously you're probably dipping into their finances and what their current situation is. How do you determine what buildings you're going to invest in, and what do you recommend to maybe somebody that's starting off, that's maybe looking at a couple of buildings to maybe invest in?
So number one, if you're going to look for a property, you're talking about from the respect of someone buying it to live in it, or someone to buy it as an investment?
As an investment.
Okay, so if you're looking at buying as an investment, you got to go, number one, find an agent. You got to find an agent that understands that particular building or that HOA. They have to understand some of the rules, the basic rules and regulations, what's allowable, what's not allowable, first and foremost. Typically, you'll know one of the biggest things, is it rentable? There's a lot of condo associations now that are changing the rules where they're not allowing rentals anymore. Once you get past that part, and let's say you look at the property, you like it, you get it under contract, you do your inspection, you go through that whole thing, then you get a little bit privy to seeing what they call the 22.1 disclosure, which is basically a condo questionnaire that discloses the information about the property in particular. It tells you, hey, how many units do we have? Do we have reserves? How much do we have in reserves? What's the delinquency rate right now? How many people are not basically paying? Is there any open litigation, any liability that currently people are unaware of? So, and your underwriter, the person who you're going to borrow money from, is going to basically ask for these documents, their underwriting department, and they're going to want to make sure, is this what's called a warrantable condo?
Right.
So that way they can make a loan on it.
So that's super important, and I think that's an additional thing that you need to really look into it, because I can just remember the first time that I really heard about this I had a friend that bought a condo in Orland Park, and he had the whole building had some foundation damage that evolved over some time, and his HOA went up. I think it was $700
Wow. So that was like a special assessment.
with special assessment, and it was something that I didn't at the time. I didn't understand why. I said something is wrong here. You own this condo, and why is this going on? But now, years later, and getting to know the real estate investment industry, how important it is to really look into this stuff, because it could change dramatically, and it could change your payment. It can change your property value. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that gets involved.
Oh, it gets crazy, man. That's what I'm telling you. I mean, like buying condos is kind of like an advanced way of purchasing property, because
Right.
you're not just buying one parcel of one parcel. You're buying 2% of a large parcel, and you got to make sure a lot of things are in order. That's why when you get in condominium investing, it's all about control. It's about knowing who's on the board of directors, or
Yeah.
maybe even participating on the board of directors.
Yeah.
So that way you know what's going on. So that way you can dictate a little bit where
Right.
management takes because it's the board of directors is the ones that really run the show. It's not the
Right.
management. Management carries out the order. So if you do it, that's really what you should be doing. Now, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that will buy condominiums and they won't sit on the board, or they won't even go to the board meeting. They don't know anything about it, and that's fine. But don't be surprised when you violate the rules. You get violations. You got a lot of bad things that are effectively happen to you.
So you can't be hands off.
No, I mean, I think real good investment property in the property business there is a level of hands-on. It's a
Yeah.
very active, passive sort of thing. Now, if you're sitting on a lot of money, high net worth, and it just doesn't matter, then yeah, hire someone out to pay them $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year to manage the property for you. They deal with the nonsense, and then you collect a check. But
Yeah.
I learned early on. Someone told me, is like, Chris, there's only two ways to make money in this business: either own a handful of units, or as many units as you can, free and clear, or own a shitload of units, making a margin on each of them, right? And I mean, could you imagine owning 100 units, only making $50 or $100 a piece? Still a good. What are we talking? That's $10,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a lot. But look at how much the headache that you're going to have
Right.
along with that. So
Yeah.
So are you meeting with the board before you're putting an offer in?
No, so that's why I say it's important to get a real estate agent to help you, and hopefully that real estate agent has sold property in there, because typically what you'll get when you're in the transaction, you will get these the 22.1 disclosure regarding the condo, right? You'll get the declaration, you'll understand what the rules and regulations are, you'll see the budgets, you'll see how they manage their money. Now, you won't see the intricacies of it, and because no one does unless they particularly ask for them. Like if you go to a board meeting, they'll run through the numbers of the thing, but you have nothing to compare it to. You don't know what's going on. There's cases and scenarios where you dump all the money, your reserve money, into the building project, and then all of a sudden you buy the property, you go there, and you hear it's like, oh, how much do we have in reserves? None. Oof, but
Yeah.
hey, if you just put on $300,000 worth of roofs, then it's understandable.
Yeah.
So that's why it's good to know that. And then and yeah, man, you're really going based on the knowledge of whoever the agent is leading you there. See, because most people just buy a condo just based on the price. It's $125,000 and I can afford it, and it's in a good location.
Yep.
It's 10 minutes from where work is. So much more than that. It
Right.
really, really, really is. And
So correct me if I'm wrong. So you have certain buildings that I know you own multiple units in.
Yes.
And so you're looking at these properties, and you're keeping a close eye. If something comes on, you probably have a first chance to evaluate it quickly and be able to throw an offer, right?
Well, just like anyone, I mean, the thing is, so imagine if you got a basket of eggs, right, and you set it over there next to the bar over there. It's like, and you always know that it's there. And if something comes, you always know what's going on over there, because
Yeah.
you're paying attention, because you're vested.
Right.
So for me, when I see units come up with the same street name or the same whatever, I just know. I got to the point where I know I could look at the street and know if I want it. I can look at the unit number and know if I want it. So the first thing is what's the zip code? Oh, what's the street? Then it's the unit number. It's like I already know, because you know the lay of the land. You know the
Yeah.
buildings. So
Are you all in DuPage?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a reason?
I find that DuPage County attracts a lot better quality of a tenant as far as I'm concerned. They're also a little bit more landlord friendly. There's a lot of political nonsense that comes with, being in suburban Cook and all that. And I don't know. I don't really have a basis of comparison. I don't know. It's just what I was taught, or kind of what I was led to believe. So yeah, I mean, pretty much we're entirely in DuPage County. I would do more in Kane County. I live in Kane County, so I do that. But
I'm really looking at Kane because they're growing so fast, and I think it's an attractive area.
It's really moving out west, like where I'm at. You start heading towards like Hampshire, Pingree Grove, and all that area, Gilbert's. There's a lot of that, and but at the end of the day, people want to be east. You know what I mean? I'm all about what's along the North Avenue corridor. The North Avenue corridor going into the city. You know what I'm saying? Anything along that line. I mean, you got to understand that's a main artery for the western suburbs.
I think this Elgin O'Hare thing is really going to open up a lot of doors.
That's a big thing. Yeah,
it's huge.
We own some property in Bensonville too. So, I mean, that's, I'm interested to see what happens there.
Yeah.
When's that supposed to be done?
I think completion is 2024, I believe.
Sure.
But there's going to be there's going to be a lot of new stuff. And it's all about transportation. That's what everybody's looking. And O'Hare is, I believe, is the second busiest airport in the nation right now. So it's a hub that everybody wants to be around. So it's all really about transportation. So real quick, Chris, what's the end goal? Why are you buying all these properties? I mean, you want to be sitting in the beach with a margarita or something, or?
Well, I think anybody maybe wants
Big L.
Yeah, Big Dude. I'm telling you, you ain't heard a rapper until you heard Big L, man. I'm telling you, he will knock your socks off, man. I mean, it's ultimately, it's to build net worth. It's to build the ability to have, to let money work for us, so that way we don't have to work for it. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you and I can only work so hard. You know what I mean? Slanging homes, doing whatever it is that we're doing. At the end of the day, money is, currency. It's like an electric current. You stop the current, it doesn't go anywhere. So money in the bank is dead. It's useless. It's nothing. So you got to put it out into somewhere. And I mean, what's better investment than real estate? I mean, the tax advantages, the IRS basically tells you, hey, go and invest in property. That's what the IRS code tells you to do, in a way, in a shape or form.
Right.
So, I got a total goal of 30. You know what I mean? And that's probably almost too much. But I'm still a young man.
That's a full-time job for sure.
Yeah, there's no question. There's no question about it. I mean, I don't think anyone really needs ultimately that many. I guess it just depends on what you're doing and how well you can manage and maintain them. I'm finding out that it's a lot harder, the work-life balance between being a real estate agent, being a father, being a husband, being a property manager, and trying to be a friend and do stuff. It's tough.
Very tough.
It's extremely difficult. So, you got to try to pick your battles and know what's good. So now I'm getting to the point where I have to learn how to, what's my time worth? Where is my time? I'm finding out that I got 2 hours out of the day where I can be the most productive, where I have to do something with that time. And for me, it's picking up the cocksucking phone and calling people. I can't be dicking around with, fixing a $10 shower head or something. So now I got to learn how to, I got to get in that process of telling somebody, hey, I need you to go and do this for me. I'll pay you to do this. So that way I can focus on doing dollar producing activities. That's what it's about.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, what's the end goal is so that way I don't have to, I guess I can retire. I don't know. I'm a hustler, man. I like going.
You're never going to retire, dude.
That's a myth, man. That's never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're going to hit 30 in no time, and then it's
not
going to stop at 30.
Yeah, well, I mean, my goal is to be retired by I'm 40. I mean, and that's going to happen. There's no question.
What's retired? What's retired?
Where you don't have to go and work for your money any longer. Where your investments, your assets basically produce enough cash flow for you in order to live. That's going to happen. There's no question about it by the time 40. So I got in less than 7 years, it'll be done.
Cool.
But I'm going to still do stuff.
For sure, you have to.
You have to. You can't stop. But at the same time, and you got to understand, that's all relative. It's all based on how you live. I mean, if it takes $1,000 a month to live, I mean, that's probably 2 paid off properties.
Right.
It doesn't matter. So as long as you, like I was saying earlier about, you have to pay for whatever you want, whatever you're into. But the other things that take less priority, don't spend. I don't drive a nice car. I don't have nice toys. I don't have, I got a nice house. I got nice properties and stuff like that. We put, nice things into them, and that's what I'm into, because that's what I value and that's what makes sense. But spending $100 on a t-shirt, or even $200 on an Apple Watch is almost crazy. But some things you
but it benefits you.
There are benefits there, right? So you learn to see what's what, but
I think I'm chasing the freedom, really.
That's what it's about, right? It's freedom. I mean, what else we
options, right? When you have a little bit in reserve, you have options, and you get to do sometimes what you.
I think when you have cash flow to basically supplying for your life, for your lifestyle, that's when you have freedom. I mean, when you got whatever it costs you to live every single month. If you got that coming in cash flow, and you don't got to necessarily go and trade 40 hours for it,
right?
That's what we're talking about here. That's real freedom. So fuck reserves. Money in the bank is nothing. It's dead.
Right.
Don't even waste it. If you got money in the bank, get it out right now.
You're losing money, actually.
Yeah, you're losing money. Go put it into something. I don't care. Put it in a fucking money market if you need to. Go buy some silver. Silver's on a great deal right now. Go buy some real estate.
Hedge against inflation.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
All of that. Yeah. All the beautiful tax benefits you get.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would any advice that you would give maybe an investor, somebody that's out there right now trying to hustle, trying to figure out how he can start his real estate business? Anything that you would suggest he first starts off with? Anything that he should listen to? Any books that he should read? Anything like that?
The 18-year-old Chris Leone. You're talking to
him.
Oh,
that's good.
What would you tell him?
There you go.
Dude. Stop paying for extra cheese on the Whopper, man. That's what I tell them motherfuckers. I'm just kidding. No, dude, I tell you, I was doing a lot of stuff when I was 18. I was reading a lot of books, Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I was reading all that stuff. And I would tell somebody to definitely read those books. It's funny because I got a certain scenario right now where I'm telling somebody else like what to do. I'm trying to guide them and lead them in the same scenario. And, it's funny what you don't know. It's when you realize what you don't know, what you don't really know. And I think the easiest thing is to invest in yourself and to make a decision about what it is that you want to do. The decision is real simple. Would you want to work for someone else, or do you want to work for yourself? Because I think those are really the two options that are out there as far as a career, as far as that goes, right? And then from there, you got to ultimately make a decision as to what you want to do with your life. Maybe it's not real estate investing. I don't know what it is, but I think real estate investing is a vehicle for anyone. Whatever you do, figure out a way to make money, figure out a way to save more money, meaning spend less, not paying attention to what everyone else is doing. And then what you do with that money is be smart with it and, go buy a property. It's not difficult. But people, they want to live the life and they want to save up the down payment or they want to live the life and then they want to go buy the property with no money into it. And it's, there's no easy answer.
There's no overnight success.
No, there's no overnight success. You got to literally save up the money, put 10% down, pay 13% interest if you have to, work on that property for 5 months, paying $752.22. Even when you're losing money, you're depleting your cash reserves, and then you got to go get that sucker rented to know that you have a negative cash flow at the end of the month, and then be crazy enough to 4 months later go and do it again, and go do that 3 times over every single year until you're 33.
Yeah,
and then realize that at the end of which you made a bunch of smart decisions because it was, you bought property that went up in value. Now, we're all not so lucky to have that nowadays. So right now you can't buy property, say you buy property for 130 and next year, it'll probably be still worth 130 or whatever. But, but that's the beginning. But look 15 years down the line, I tell you what, if $20,000 is your problem, you got a bigger problem than that.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah. I think another thing that I would like also to mention is a community, because there's always somebody that wants more from their life, but maybe the people around them are not visionaries like they are, or don't share maybe the same goals or the same vision. I think another thing that's super important is being around others that are go-getters, that are willing to encourage you and think that it's not crazy to retire at 40 and
having a support system around you is super huge. But you also got to be self-starting. You got to get going.
There's no other motivation than being self-motivated. There's no other thing.
Yeah, if you didn't grow with a silver spoon in your hand, and that might even be a bad example, but if if you look at most of us, if we look at our folks and, they're struggling in debt, they're trying to make ends meet. They get maybe one vacation a year. They don't want to do anything that should be motivation enough to want to say, man, I want something different.
Right. Dude, that's
right?
all I need, man. That's all
That's
I need.
it. We'll see. So then Ryan,
That's why I don't take vacations, dude.
Why would you take a vacation? Why do you think that's
dude,
important?
you got to recharge. I can tell you this, man. When I was getting started, 2012, the early that time, I didn't even understand that the market was looking back. If I look back on it, I mean, dude, it was crazy.
Oh man, I wish I had a bunch of money. I should just bought everything.
Well, the funny thing is, I didn't have money. I mean, I think by 2015, okay, so I'm 3 years into this business, I think I had like $300,000 in debt. You know what I'm saying? That was just all from buying property, borrowed money, and
It's good.
excuse me. I mean, yeah, it's good, but how do you relay that to somebody to say, hey, go out and do this? There's got to be something else. You got to be, like I said, you got to be motivated. You got to be self-started. You got to be willing to take a risk and try something. But what it boils down to is commitment. It's making a decision. It's saying that this is what you want to do. And that's it. Because once you do that, nothing will stop you. And I think people have a very, very difficult time deciding what they want to do. They're like, I don't know if I want to do. Like I was talking to this person I was mentioning earlier. It's like, what do you want to do? It's like, I don't know. The fuck, dude.
A lot of people are scared to commit to something because they're afraid that they're not going to achieve something.
That's true too.
And waste their time.
Dude, life is so short that you don't even have enough time. I think there's only enough time to master maybe one thing, really, if you think about it in your life. Now, I know they say 10,000 hours or 5 years or whatever it is to master anything or become an expert or something,
right.
But whatever. But dude, that's just the surface. That's just the surface of anything.
Yeah.
And, so the earlier you get started, I mean, look at anyone that was super successful. They determined what it is that they wanted. They went and did it, and they made it happen. Now, and then from there, they expounded into all these different things.
Right.
So I don't know. I think people want to make it a way more difficult than it has to be.
And why should I take a vacation? I'm still looking for that.
Oh, dude, you got to take a vacation, because when you work as hard as I've done or you've done, you get to the point where you get burnt out, man. You've
been there?
Dude, 100%. I mean, I think after 4 hours with my kids, I'm there, man. I'm telling you, dude. Yeah, it's funny. Me and my wife were just kind of teasing around. It's like, oh man, we need a vacation to ourselves. It's just, dude, the kids, they take it out of you, man.
Yeah.
They suck all the energy out because they don't stop. They don't understand. They're fantastic. They just don't stop. I love them though, dude. I'll tell you, dude, that's my sport, dude. Being a papa, being a father. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That is some awesome stuff.
You're talking about leaving something behind. That's another thing too.
Dude,
because
I want my kids.
generational.
Dude, let me tell you something, dude. My kids. So I have twins, Amelia and Addison. Then I have another one. Her name's Ellie. She's 2. And then I have little Jack Snack. He's 7 years old. Dude, my 3-year-olds are already making money. Like, dude, they got a chore thing, it's like Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University Junior chore chart on their side, and they earn commissions. That's what they
awesome.
do. My wife keeps calling it freaking, what do you call it? Allowance. No, dude, this is commission. This is commission. You do work to earn money. It's that simple. So, dude, I got my kids. You might see it on my Snapchat every now and then. But anyways, they'll sweep up, they pick up clothes. I'm always trying to show them stuff, dude. Last week we went to Target, and they brought their money. They got a little envelope. It's clear. They got money inside of it. I think Amelia had like $15. Addison had like $12. Of course, Addison spent 7 of the 12. Amelia spent 3. And then they go up to the little girl and go $3, and then they gave them. Dude, that right there, so huge.
Yeah.
So such a huge moment to show your kids. But dude, regarding the vacation, you gotta recharge, dude. It's like going and working out 5 weeks in a row and then taking that whole week off, dude. You're gonna come back leaner, harder, stronger, faster. It's just, there's something about it, physiological, mentally. You got to do it. So I don't care what it takes, dude. Go and rent a fucking cabin and go read a book for a weekend and unplug. Dude, yeah, you got to unplug, man. Dude, I'm so serious about this that, dude, in my calendar right now, if I open it up to you between 8 and 10 p.m., I have a goal in there through Google Calendar. It's called unplug. I got to turn the phone off.
That's awesome.
You got to turn it
daily?
off. Daily, bro. Daily. also I don't want to see any screens. And I'm not perfect, so this doesn't happen all the time. But this has got to be the reminder. Like my Google Calendar has got to set up an ideal week for me. It starts from 5 o'clock. It goes all the way to 10 o'clock. Basically, 5 o'clock I start. Everything goes 8 to 10. That's just family time. Get the kids ready. Me and my wife time, and then dude, asleep by 10, wake up by 5. I mean, you gotta set your environment up for how you want to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but dude, you need it. You need that vacation, dude. I'm telling you. You look like you need one right now, Ryan.
Dude, I do.
The internet
tired,
sensation.
dude.
Why are you so tired, man?
Dude,
you can sleep when you're dead.
A lot, dude. I literally am on 2 hours of sleep for the past.
Well, that's not that's your bad, dude.
You said you could sleep when you're dead.
I know, but that's your bad. But still, you can, but you still need some quality sleep.
I know. Okay, maybe I'm over exaggerating, like 3 hours or whatever. But
that's
I got
dude.
a lot of shit on my plate right now. But I'm cool with it. I'm young, but I get it. I do need a vacation.
You know what, dude? I was saying that for a long time too, and now I realize, dude, sleep is so crucial. Yeah, dude. If anything, don't trip on your health, dude. I'm telling you, don't trip on that. You got it. I'm serious. I'm telling you. You're looking at me kind of like, this motherfucker.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
it's because he's
dude.
young. That's why he's
I'm
young.
telling you, dude. I'm telling you. You get you focused on 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night, and start. See, here's why you're losing. Maybe I shouldn't go down this route.
No,
I'm not trying to critique.
Let's
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to burn bridges. And I just met the internet sensation over here.
I mean, you can't burn it.
Well, I guess you're right. You can't burn it.
Go ahead.
I mean, dude, you're not managing your time well enough.
I agree. I'm so unorganized.
You got to get focused, bro. You got to get focused, dude. That's probably been the biggest thing. And I can't sit here and tell you that I'm super focused, because most of the people, if they're going to watch this, they're gonna be like, man, Chris, like, squirrel. That's me, dude.
That's the whole podcast,
right? That's me. But I'm telling you, I mean, lately, as of 2018, I got super, super focused, and going into this year, I mean, I'm more focused than I've ever been. And you need to focus on that, dude. Health. You got to get that shit up.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, dude. Get some quality sleep. Eat right, because it starts there. You know what I'm saying? Would you ever put, E81 into your fucking Trans Am?
That's true, man.
No, you wouldn't, dude. But you keep putting this motherfucking Red Bull dog shit, all this shit in your fucking system, dude. This shit is making you tired.
Yeah.
More, and it giving you energy. Look at you. I'm jacked up, dog. I've been drinking fucking water.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Fucking water, dude.
No, I definitely need to start going to the gym and shit, and probably eating better. So.
You see how convincing he said that? I don't believe you.
You hurt my feelings, dude. I don't even like you. You burnt my bridges.
Well, then fuck it. Fuck it. You want to get me excited. You want to talk about condos and all that. I'm really excited into this. Getting focused, getting healthy, because that's where it all starts, man.
It's a lifestyle for sure. So I've been working on being more organized.
That is a tough thing to do, man.
Being tidy. It all starts with that Jordan Peterson thing.
Who's he?
It's a psychologist, a big professor that blew up on YouTube.
But
Smart.
He talks about even doing something as routine as making your bed every single day.
Oh, huge.
Yeah, so it's all about routines and managing your time well and stuff like that.
You stick to your calendar?
I do the best I can.
It's tough.
I mean, it's not we're not machines, dude. But that's why you got to create yourself an ideal week. You have to see if you don't understand what your ideal work week looks like. You don't understand what your ideal work week. So meaning, if you could control everything you did, what would you do? How would you spend your time if you were going to be the ultimate effective and ultimate efficient? And if you don't have that written out and you see what that looks like, there's no way that you can make that happen, because you don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is. Yeah.
So you got to know. Writing things down is super, super, super important.
Yeah.
Ryan, I want to publicly apologize to you. I feel like I ripped into you there.
Apologize for what, dude? That's what I need, man.
He brings all these Red Bulls, and
my guy, dude.
And then I drink.
I like the internet sensation, man.
Yeah. The internet sensation is exactly that. He's the internet sensation, man.
It shit just sounds good.
Yeah.
Ralphie gave me the name.
I don't know
dude,
why.
Everywhere I go now, that's what
everybody calls him.
The internet. That shit's so
Anyways,
funny.
we got to wrap this up because we're almost
What time is it?
2.5 hours
It's
now.
only 9:49.
Yeah.
Dude, I can go all fucking night. I'm telling you, go 15 rounds. But hey, I'm respectful of you guys.
Is there anything else that you would like to tell our audience? How do we reach you? How we get to know a little bit more about you and your life?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big social media guy. Number one, I'm on there, so you can find me at REI Chris Leone. That's pretty much my tag handle on just about anything. But if you really want to get to know me and you really want to focus in, just call me. It's 224-595-5377. I'm a real estate agent. My mission is to prevent as many people as I can to retire before 40.
Boom.
That's what I want to do, man. That's what I want to do.
And you're willing to help people through the
Absolutely.
process.
I'm willing to help people to go through the process. And if you're crazy, I'm going to tell you that you're crazy. And if you can actually do something, I'm going to tell you.
You're going to keep it real, like we just did to the internet sensation just now.
You
I
hope you fix that though, dude. I got some hacks for you.
Dude, give them to me. I need them. I want to see the calendar.
You want to see the calendar, dude? You think I'm playing?
No, I believe you. Like I want to see how you have it laid out.
Give me a second.
We can edit all this out. No big deal.
I don't give a shit. You can show everybody. Look at that, dude. Go into it. Go hard. Go strong.
Let's see.
Go hard, man. Check out that top reminder right there.
What's front stage?
Front stage. That means that is a day in which I produce money. That is a dollar producing activity day. That means that I don't do anything on the computer. I don't do anything. I have to have days set up where that's all about being out, meeting with people, having appointments. Tomorrow I have a 10 o'clock appointment. Is that on there? Did I fuck that up? I got a buyer appointment for a potential investor. Oh, fuck.
Oh, no, you got it. Yeah.
Okay, that's good there.
After your notes, no carbs. So.
No carbs, dude. No carbs. You got to deserve them, man. You got to deserve them.
Dude, I forgot to tell you, this guy's thin. He's a lean, mean machine right now.
I'm trying, man. Yeah, before yeah, dude.
Leave the house to exercise.
So,
dude, 5:45, right?
Oh, so there's a Korea
picnic? That's in every single, huh?
There's a Korea picnic?
Oh, the Korea picnic.
Forget about that?
No, dude, I live and die by the calendar now, which is funny because on a disc profile, I'm a high I, and people like us, we don't do systems and shit. We don't do none of that. We don't.
This is a system?
Well, I know this is a system, but you gotta understand this is called maturing. When you're a high I and you understand that and you mature and you get beyond that,
right.
Then you start to. It's just maturing.
Send me your PDF of your hacks. I need to learn them.
If you're gonna send him the hacks, and you gotta show everybody the hacks.
Dude, I'm gonna share it with you right now. Dude.
Let's do it.
It's real simple.
Right now.
Dude,
we got plenty of time.
Dude,
let's do it.
It's called a full focus planner. Go get you a full focus planner. That's it. That's all that you need.
What the hell's a full focus planner?
So listen, this is a planner that was created by Michael Hyatt. And Michael Hyatt used to run Nielsen Publishing, which is probably one of the biggest publishing. Basically, they publish every single Bible that's out there and a lot of other cool books and stuff. So anyways, it's a fantastic planner that helps you organize and structure what your work life should be. And not just what your work life, but this is your personal life too. So the first set's a couple pages. You actually write down your annual goals. Did you break down your annual goals into smarter goals? Right. So first off, like my first goal is to lose 60 pounds by August 15th, 2019. And then you go into the breakdown of why you want to do that. What's the goal? Is this spiritual? Is this what domain does it exist in? And then you go into your motivations. You explain, why is it that, my number one motivation is because my lifestyle change will positively affect my family. Now, if you don't have goals and you don't understand why you're doing it, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
So as you guys can hear, I have a goal. And I understand why I want to do that goal. And then you write these things down, and then you can and in there also it teaches you how to create and identify what your rituals are. Everyone's got rituals, right? So you got a morning ritual. You know what it is.
Are you doing this weekly or?
This is a daily thing. This is a daily practice.
And this is separate from the Google Calendar.
This is an extension of that, because what I find is that, so in this planner, I have my ideal work week. I know what it looks like. It's written down, but so I can follow it. So if anytime I'm veering off the path, which is constantly, I have it set up this way. So I always remind, like, okay, what time is it? Do I have free time? Oh, I should be proactively prospecting right now. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is,
right.
Or doing my lead follow-up, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that just helps me do that. But, identifying, I'll tell you, dude, people want to get really successful and do whatever, dude. It's about habits.
It is.
Dude, it's about habits.
Yeah.
And I think Dean Graziosi had like a book on that, like habits.
Dean
I never read it, but I just knew when I saw it, habits, dude. That's it. That's some powerful shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's powerful, dude. Because we all got them. And if you probably just got the wrong ones. And yeah, I mean, no offense to you, Ryan, but if you're on 2 hours of sleep, you're not prioritizing certain things.
I
And that's
over-exaggerate a little bit.
well,
It's
whatever.
like 3.
Call it what
It's
you
like
want. 3, 4, whatever. But dude, my point is, if you ain't getting 7 to 8,
no, I
you're
get it,
doing
dude.
your
I
sense
feel
a
it. I feel it in
disservice.
my day to day. I understand, but it's like I just have a lot of things on my plate that like I'm not even getting done. And according to what you were saying, I'm probably not getting it done because I'm unorganized.
So let me show you how this works. And this is where I've had the same struggle, and I still have the same struggle. I'm just a little bit more able to focus. So the daily pages, which are the important thing of this planner, it basically gives you your daily big 1, 2, and 3. Basically, you wake up so what I do every morning when I go and do my morning ritual, I sit down in my office and I identify what are the 3 biggest things that I have to do today. What's first off, I start with the number 1. What's the biggest thing that's going to change?
This is a template. It says
it's all templated out, so all you got to do is just write it in.
Okay.
All you got to do is just write it in. But see, you're creating a new habit. So when you start this, your first habit the first goal that you have to set is I will use my full focus planner for the first 90 days starting June 21st, 2019.
What's it called?
Full focus planner.
I can get it off Amazon.
I don't know. You better go to the website.
Does it come with instructions?
It comes with 7 or 8 or 9 videos, tutorials.
Oh
Nice.
damn! So this shit's gonna be like $10,000.
No, it's like $30.
Oh shit. Okay.
I think I get a
2019. This one right here, $42.
That's it. Yeah, that seems a little bit more expensive. You can get a whole annual subscription. I think for like $130 or something, which is maybe that is about $40 a piece. Dude, it's well worth it.
Who turned you on to this, Chris?
Dude, you know what? Right around December or I don't know, it was January something to 2018. I'm on Facebook. This is the only thing I ever bought on Facebook. This came up on my feed, and I looked at it, and I'm the kind of guys where like I see something and it's like, okay, this is gonna help me. I buy it, and I just bought it. And I just did it. And I fucked up a lot throughout 2018. So I'm officially into quarter 6 right now. So I'm at six planners in. And man, I'm telling you, it's
Game changer.
This one doesn't show that it comes with like
100%.
this.
No, it doesn't come with this. They're on the internet.
Oh,
So like the
are
first or
those-
second page, I think you can go to Full Focus Planner tutorials. Just look that up on
and they
Google.
have them free YouTube ones, probably, right?
They're probably on there, and then you can understand what to do with the pages. So Michael Hyatt comes out and basically describes you how do you fill it out. But see, I find that people just like me in the beginning, you got to undo your bad habits, and you got to start there and then begin to use this. And number one thing you do is you start with the daily pages. You identify what the biggest things you got to do, and you have to learn how to stop yourself from letting distractions stop you doing. Because there's all the bullshit. There's the inspection. There's the escrow money that has to get to the guy.
Yeah.
There's the fucking all this nonsense. But at the end of the day, you need to be focusing on whatever it is related to your goals. So if producing $42,840 in the next 90 days is your goal, can you tell that's a goal of mine? Then you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what you got to do, and you got to pick up that cocksucking phone.
Okay, so 90 days. Did you see it in 90 days? A difference, a change in your lifestyle? Because that's what it's saying on here, 90 days. Or did you
100%.
see it before it?
Not way before it.
Way before it?
But
Okay.
it's what you believe in. I can tell you guys all. You guys can hear it in my voice how excited I am
Oh,
about
yeah,
this.
for sure.
This thing
Dude,
is so.
I knew that when I first met you, like a couple hours ago. I could tell. Like, that's why I asked you. I'm like, why do you stay so lit? That was the
dude.
question.
Dude,
Well,
so now we're getting to the answer, 'cause I'm focused.
I know the answer was because of your lifestyle and the way you live.
Dude, I'm focused, dude. I'm so focused. I live so intentionally now in my life that I know exactly. You know what? I got a lot of these motivators all by me. I got these kids. I got this wife. I got this house. I got this. I got whatever. You got all these different things you're responsible for. But at the end of the day, we got to live with intention. We got to live with focus. We got to move from point A to point B, and you got to know what you want. And I think for me, it's always been difficult because me being a high I or whatever, I'm just kind of like all over the place and having fun, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just,
that's my
but
issue.
one of our biggest weaknesses, like for a guy like me on the disc profile, is systems, is follow-up, is schedules. So once you understand your weakness, you have to then conquer whatever that weakness
Right.
is. And that's me doing that.
Okay.
You should do that too, because that if you're just feeling disorganized, and it's what, you shouldn't feel bad about it. Everyone's been there. I've been there. I think I'm still there.
I'm going to hit
Yeah.
you up in 90 days.
No, dude, you hit
let
me
you
up
know.
as soon as you buy that, and you let me know, and I become your accountability
There
buddy.
you go.
Dude. See, I'm with, dude. I fuck with intention, dude. I'm telling you. I got a guy from California that I know, and I told him to go and get it, and he got it, and I think he's struggling a little bit. Shout out to Fed. I'm gonna send the Fed. What up, dog? Fetty Wap. It's my guy right there, dude. This guy, Fetty Wap, dude. This guy's cool peoples. But man, I'm telling you. And then,
all right, I bought it,
dude. For real. My man, dude. See, that's commitment.
I'm gonna do it, dude.
That's commitment,
I'm gonna do
dude.
it.
Now listen.
As soon as you said accountability partner, I'm holding your ass too.
Dude, done. You hit me up because I'm a user, dude. I'm a user and abuser. And you can actually get hooked up on the Facebook site. There's a private Facebook page.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then you can talk to other people. All these other people are struggling. But you know, when you get successful at anything, you won't find yourself even doing that because you'll be so focused on doing what, you know, the hardest part will be like to sit down and be like, man, what do I want?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the hardest part is like, what do you want? So, you know, we ain't going to talk about it on the air right now, but eventually, I mean, we're going to sit there and talk. We're going to talk on the phone.
For sure.
And we're going to figure out what it is that you want. And, you know, it's your business.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, whether it's paying off debt, buying investment property, you know, wife, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to watch these videos as soon as I get out of here.
There you go.
Dude, get the book first.
I already bought it, dude.
I know, but I'm saying get the book first and have it in front of you.
because it's like a tutorial.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude,
okay,
see,
all right,
yeah,
all right.
trust me.
Dude, it's Amazon. It's probably at my house already.
A to Z, baby. No, I'm telling you, dude, do that. Get the book, have it in front of you, and then watch tutorial 1, and then do tutorial 1. Don't go to number 2 until you're done.
All right.
You know, and you're gonna see a lot of neat things in there, and it's real simple stuff. It's real simple stuff, but at the end of the day, this is where the rubber meets the road, dude. And all of a sudden, the internet sensation is going to be.
You might have
damn.
changed Ryan's life,
Dude, I hope so, man.
It's documented, dude.
I'm so tired of hearing this guy say that he's tired and he's got all this stuff going on.
Damn, dude, that's even.
This guy, this is
come on.
I tell him this all the time because.
Oh well, yeah, he has a lot more on his plate. He has a wife, a child, all this.
Dude,
do you know how hard
why are we measuring dick sizes here, boys? Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. We're all busy. We're human beings.
Yeah.
We got things going on. Take care of your shit and get it done.
Yeah. That's
You
what
know,
it
let's
is.
not fucking
That's what
complain
it
about
is.
it.
Yeah.
Let's just get it done. If you ain't getting done what you needed to get done, it's because you ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can still bitch and I'm fucking tired.
I think the only thing
I ain't gonna listen to it.
the only thing that
I'm gonna rap about it.
I tried
yeah,
to.
well, I want to see.
We got some time. One of the things that I kind of struggle with because you want to manage your time well, but there's also exterior stuff that comes up.
Like always.
Yeah. So and then it pushes stuff out, and then to be honest with you, that's the stuff that's I think most frustrating because you're like, I'm limited on time, and this one event now has changed the course of whatever outcome or whatever, and there's always a balance.
So let me ask you something for a quick second.
Yeah.
So when you get really, really hungry, I mean, you haven't eaten nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, and you got to get to your auntie's house or whatever. Dude, something tells me that you're going to find some fucking way to get to Taco Bell and grab that $5 box.
Yeah.
You know, you prioritize.
Absolutely.
You recognize when,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Wendy's.
Wendy's? Damn, I love me some
There's always fires to put out too.
Yeah, there's always something, but you know what the nice thing about like with using this is once you start counting for your time and you start understanding what your time really looks like and how much time you really have. There's nice motivational things on each page too, by the way, so if you're into that. But you'll start to see, like, so for me, one of the biggest struggles I had was getting up early. Every single day. I struggled with this so long. I mean, all of 2018, dude, I struggled. It took me probably 3 quarters. I had to trick myself every single day. I had this thing getting up at 5 a.m. at whatever, 72 days in a row or whatever. And, and then I would put it on Snapchat and I'd count and everyone would ask me, like, hey, what are you doing? What's the number? What the hell's that? I'm like, this is just me from tricking myself, set accountability to get up early and begin that habit. Now it's like, dude, I get up like it's clockwork. It's awesome. Because I realized that I had to do that because that was the best time to get any work done. So between 5 and 8 o'clock, because I understood that my kids get up at 8. My kids get up at 8, all hell breaks loose. And you saw in my calendar between 8 and 9, that's breakfast and kids. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, that's it. So what do I got to do between 5 and 8 to be most successful? I got to get up. I got to do my morning ritual. I got to exercise for an hour, and I got to practice my scripts. I got to do whatever I got to do. You know what I mean? Anything is most important. I got to do in that time. And that dude, you
game changer.
Dude, you get when you start getting like that, and you start understanding where your time's going and how it's happening. Man, you're going to become a different person, dude. And then, things are going to happen for you, right? And it's fine. You're just going to get right back on track because that's what happens to all of us. Like last month, I was telling you a little bit ago before we went on the air that I've been helping my wife out for the past, staying home a lot and stuff like that. No big deal. no big deal. Just you got to know what with the limited time that you have, what can you do? What's the biggest bang for your buck?
Yeah.
All right, dude, man. It was nice meeting you. I had a freaking awesome time, dude.
Thanks so much for stopping
Thanks,
by,
guys.
Chris.
I had some fun.
Thanks for keeping it 100 and talking shit.
Yeah, that's important, bro. We got to keep it 100. So
right.
Chris Leon, El Más Chingón.
El más chingón.
El más chingón.
Chris, tell us again how we can get a hold of you, man.
Yeah, man. So I'm a real estate agent. Happy to help anybody. If you can see past all the nonsense I was talking about today, I actually am pretty good at what I do. So, but you can call me at 224-595-5377. Happy to sit down and talk to you to see if maybe real estate investing is something you want to do. Perhaps you're even just looking to sell a property. Gladly help you on that front. I work the western suburbs, DuPage County, King County mostly. I can do suburban Cook, but we'll sit there and talk about it.
Awesome.
You can find me on any social media handle, pretty much REI Chris Leon.
Awesome.
That's where I'm at.
Chris, again, thank you so much for stopping by. It was you really dropped some knowledge, especially on the internet sensation. We might see a changed man here in the 30 days.
That's me. That's me, dog.
30 days. What is the
90.
time? 90 days. 90 days. We're going to see.
You said it'll be faster.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it takes
I get
it takes 72 days to set a habit, but you do it for 90, and the idea is that you about 70% of that, if you get 70% of 90 days, you're in good shape.
Nice.
Yeah, you got a new habit as long as you stick with it.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, I got you on Snap now, so I'm gonna
Dude, cool.
show your ass.
All right, guys. So this has been the Ralphie and Ryan Show. This is episode number 9, and we'll see you guys next week.